Recording in progress. Okay, so a lot of stuff going on tonight, but I think it's safe to say that this is the beginning of the end. You guys have, for the last, what did we say? Was it like
7 years.
6 years, 7 years we've been playing this
November
game, and
November
now
set 2017.
November 2017, before COVID, before all of the craziness that is going on today, we started this game and we've gone through and we are now in the last portion of the sixth book and lots going on as we wrap this up. Basically, you guys are on the end game of saving the world of Galarian. And you have done a great job of it. It's been a fantastic, wild ride, but there's still a ton of stuff to do and a ton of challenges before you. Not the least of which is what I failed to send you guys in the big email that I kept referencing, and nobody knew what the hell I was talking about. So I went back and checked that, and apparently I'd only copied a portion. Mike actually alerted me this. I only captured a portion of my global email list, so everybody who doesn't play in this game got the email, but
Yeah.
everybody who does play in this game did not get it. So I forwarded it over today.
That's
Forwarded it
classic
over to the
world's okayest DM right there.
that's what keeps me in the okayest category is
Well,
rather
the
than
most
really
okay.
excelling. But so I sent that over today, plus along the things of everybody. This will be the last time we do this in this campaign, but everybody gets a level up to 17. And so before we get started doing everything, I wanted to talk to each of you and talk about what, if anything, changes with your character as you guys are headed back to Dresden and you level up to 17 to prepare for what could be the greatest challenges that you will face in this campaign. So, Dan, you want to start? What's different about Fletcher? I know that the question "What's different about Fletcher" is sort of a session to session kind of thing, but in this case, it is a level. So,
How many
what's
limbs
different
do
about
you
Fletcher?
have? Let's start there. How many limbs?
Yeah, no new limbs. Yeah, spoiler alert, he's better at killing things now.
Oh,
That's basically the bottom line.
That's weird because he's never done that before.
he really
Yeah,
sucked at
he's
that
just
before. It was just
It'd
like
be awesome if you became against violence at the end. Oh my God.
yeah, he became a
Yeah.
pacifist.
The pacifist.
he's a scholar.
Next to the
Fletcher chose the template passive or a conscientious objector, so he'll be not doing combat anymore.
You'll be sitting out this time.
I like the passive aggressive idea more, Chuck. I think I'm going to do a passive aggressive barbarian
Passive
now.
aggressive, yes.
Classic Midwestern passive aggressive.
So it won't be I'm Fletcher, I'll be your murderer tonight. It'll be you know what you did. I'm not
I'm not going to tell you.
Okay.
It'll be, are you a dragon? Are you a dragon?
Caught me off guard there. Hold on. All right, Dan, what's different about Fletcher? What did Fletcher get at 17?
One big thing, but it's one of the biggest things that happens to a barbarian. He
Okay.
now has rage cycling.
What
I
is
only
that?
have one reason to cycle because I have one ability that is once per rage, and now I can use it every round.
Well, what is rage cycling? I've never
Rage
even
cycling,
heard of that.
it's actually called inexhaustible rage or something like that. I no longer am fatigued when I drop out of rage.
Okay. So you're just
I'm
going to stay
fine with
raging all the time.
So basically, it's a free action to drop out, and it's a free action to go back in. So every round, I can just keep bouncing in and out and keep resetting my once per rage abilities.
What a crazy thing that is. And so what's the once per rage thing that you're looking to capitalize on with this particular
Unexpected strike.
unexpected strike? What? All right, now I got to look that up. What does
It
that
basically
do?
gives me an attack of opportunity, even though I wouldn't normally get one, anytime somebody goes into a square that I can hit.
So anytime, at any time, if you're
Anytime,
raging,
even if I normally wouldn't, I can now hit them.
oh, that's pretty good. Now, is this just one person? Like if multiple people go in the squares that you can hit, or can
One
you hit
attack,
everybody?
it's one attack, and it's once per round.
So basically,
Gotcha.
it gives you an extra attack per round permanently while you're raging.
Pretty much, yes.
Yeah, basically.
As long as people are moving around.
Right.
So now
What's
your
that
macro is going to take up 10 feet worth of space and 5 minutes to run.
Yeah, did you
I
get
can imagine what a macro would look like for Fletcher. I'm not
you-
even going to bother.
you got to put Don on that and get that macro going, and then it'll be your turn. You'll
And
call
we'll all go
unexpected
pee.
strike. We'll all go do all our shopping, and then come back, and the dice will be there. All right, well, that sounds awesome.
Lights will start dimming in
for,
on
for
a
you.
Midwestern city as it draws power to fill the macro.
All right.
Takes more power than cryptocurrency.
Well, all right. That sounds awesome. All right. So, anything else interesting happen at level 17 for you? Or is that
That's
the
it.
big,
It's not a big
that's the,
level for barbarians other than rage cycling.
gotcha. Okay, cool. All right. So next, who I'm very curious about is Lothar. Chuck, what changes for Lothar at level 17?
He gets another feat and he gets ninth level spells.
Ninth level spells. Okay, that's a whole different book there. So that's have you chosen them or
Yeah, I
well, you
think
don't
for
have to.
right,
Oh, go ahead.
yeah, for right now I've chosen them because one of them has to be a domain spell.
Okay.
So now he has shape change.
Shape change. Ooh, I hope you got some
So
shape changes tonight.
he could do that, and every round as a free action, he can change his shape. So he can do that druid thing, I guess, now, where
Very
he's a
cool.
bear, then he's a fish, then he's a bird, whatever. But his shape change is not limited to small things. Like for instance, he can become a dragon.
Oh, nice. Oh, please.
Except he actually can be a dragon.
Yes, but
Ow.
Storm is especially sensitive about that word, so it doesn't matter that he can actually become one of those. If he
Very cool.
says I'm gonna become a dragon, then Storm goes, "Ow." Yes.
Can he become
I'm
a
just gonna
storm?
I'm just gonna keep my cursor over the thing. So
No.
because it seems to be a popular
Why
word
do I
today.
stop using it?
What about the feet? Have you chosen your feet?
Greater spell penetration.
Ooh, greater spell penetration. That's gonna hurt some people, I have a feeling. All right,
That's
sounds good.
that's the hope.
Sounds a little
Sounds
dirty, but oh well.
sounds good. Sounds good.
What's that?
Ilindar. Oh,
Would
go
you
ahead.
say, Mike?
Sounds a little dirty, but we'll work with it. Um,
Yes, I can turn into a dragon, and now I have greater penetration. You're all in trouble.
all of us are a bit more scared. Um, so so this level was basically not um kind of like Fletcher. Everything got a little bit better.
Okay.
Uh, the one thing I will say is now Storm did get a strength boost, so now she's up to a 42 strength.
42 strength. So what's the bonus on that? Just curious.
16.
16. So plus 16 raw strength bonus, and that's before any of the other
And
random
because she's
things.
a quadruped, right now she can push or drag 250,000 pounds.
What?
Well,
Right
fantastic.
now,
If we find 500 gold pieces, she's fine.
So
right now in Dresden, the dwarves are saying,
now.
the dwarves are building a cart and going, make it bigger, bigger. We need it to be bigger.
No, we mean really bigger. And then I did get an extra feat with her, so um, I did last time where it added her strength to her intimidate,
Okay.
but now it's a class skill for her, so now her intimidate reached 30.
Plus 30 on intimidate.
Yeah,
Well, I
so
guess
she
that's
can,
that's
she can
that's pretty
scare things.
high.
She can scare things now.
Yeah, she's scaring me a little. So that's going to be a problem for everybody.
Looking forward to a little bit of piddle around the
All right.
battlefield.
Yeah. A mist, something, there's something in the air.
Yeah.
All right. So, what about Ilindar personally? Any new cool things
Illidan
or
did get a new feat, but I
okay?
haven't chosen it yet. I just started looking at it.
Which way are you leaning?
It's probably going to be a boring one, like another meta magic feat.
That you're not going to be able to use? Because it's
Right.
not like you're going to be crafting in this place.
Oh,
Wait, what?
challenging sands. That's it.
There won't be a lot of
I'm
opportunities for
so weird.
crafting between now and the end. I
We're
mean,
gonna
there may be one or
Almost
two.
needed, and then I'm going to do a craft check.
we're gonna stop and make rings.
Hold
Um,
on. We need a week off.
yeah, I don't know what I'm going to choose. It won't be anything groundbreaking. It might be some stuff to add to his skills, but
Well,
that's,
Cleave is always a good one. It's a popular choice.
I mean, that's, yeah, because he's usually in melee trying to smack things.
Yeah,
Mhm.
we're going to need 9 rings. Why? Don't worry about it.
Don't worry
know
about
why, but we're going to need him, and we need him stat. So
Hold
yeah,
on, I gotta
I will let you know the feat later, but like it's probably going to be like a skill thing or something. I don't know.
hold on. Don't worry about it. I'm gonna put that on the internet later. Okay. All right. Cool. All right. So let's go to Jennifer. Is Jennifer? Are you there?
Yeah, I'm here. I'm not, I've got a cold, so I'm an open mouth breather tonight. Nobody
No.
needs to see that. So I'm gonna
No.
stay off screen.
No problem. No problem. What about Ferrado? What's happening with Ferrado?
Well, Ferraro just realized 5 minutes ago that she didn't level up to 16 like she thought and diligently completed before gaming tonight. She's actually at 17, so now she's scrambling. Um,
Okay, that's all
but
right.
what does That's okay. What comes with we get 6 level spells now, a couple of those, which was kind of fun.
Very
And we'll
cool.
see how that works out. And then she is automatically, as a inherent feat for being 17th level, animals of her ilk are automatically not willing, even in the dire format, to attack her.
Okay, so that would count for like panthers.
Yeah, anything in the
Okay.
cat family probably
Okay.
would be a fair assessment.
Verado's rapidly stepping into Bast's thing, becoming a cat goddess
Pretty much, yeah. And as far
or a
as
crazy cat lady from
A
whichever
crazy
point.
cat lady.
let's lean the other direction because that comes with smells of ammonia and
Yeah.
just general.
And a visit from animal control.
Yeah. With regard to the feet, I'm also now searching for my list of feat options, but I'm going to be looking for something to probably enhance spells.
Okay.
Um, so
Very
yeah,
cool. Very
that's
cool.
where I'm
All
going.
right. All right. And let's go to Gordon. Gordon, what about Bardos?
Bartos did the feat with his nanites again because that's pretty much his most effective thing. So he's got an extra one of those now.
Okay,
Nice.
so an extra nanite surge.
Yep.
How
Yeah,
many
those
how
things are
many per
awesome.
day can of those can you do?
I can do 4 now.
Four. That's just
But,
like a
I
game
don't know.
breaking. I'm
That's
gonna
that's
disallow
why he
that.
does it.
I'm gonna disallow that. All right, nanite, another nanite surge. Any feats, or did you get
Uh,
also get access to ninth level spells, or did you already have
yes.
access to
Yeah. No. That's no. I didn't. That's ninth level spells, and then I added. I actually added an 8th level one,
it? Okay.
which it's called Prediction of Failure, which is one of the few things that I think might actually be able to affect these high level creatures you're throwing at us.
Okay.
Because even if they succeed in their save, it still lasts 1 round per level, which for us
Prediction.
is like 17 rounds. So it's basically
Uh,
a -4 to everything. So I can I
Nice.
can I can downgrade you guys your
That's
bad.
awesome.
But yeah. And then also I
wow.
added prismatic sphere and shape change at the 9th level.
Very
Uh,
cool.
because I had what did I have? And dimensional lock, I had a scroll save. I don't know. Wait a minute. I might have added one
You
more
have
than I
several
should.
dimensional locks, don't you?
No, I had dimensional anchor, but dimensional lock is a it might help us when we're trying to do the skill check thing because it's a 20-foot radius that locks out any teleportation in an area. It's not like on a specific being, it's an area effect.
Right.
Okay,
If you read
we need
that
it
thing that
specifically for the ritual that gives us
yeah,
bonuses. So
there's 4 spots where we need to cast that.
Oh, dimensional lock or just dimensional? I thought it was dimensional anchor.
dimensional lock.
Dimensional lock.
Oh, really? Okay, well then I have it now, so we can do that.
Cool.
Well, we
All
need
right.
to
Did you?
cast it 4 times.
We'll we'll go through the contents of the email that I didn't send you
Yeah.
guys here in a little bit. So
Yeah.
because I imagine you guys have some questions and some discussion. I had a long discussion with Mike about it the other day, and he had some questions. So there's some stuff in there. But okay, so last but certainly not least, Matthew, Matt, how is Flashheart? What happens with a Herald of Iomedae at 17th level?
All right, so that is a two-part question. So the first part is I got a new aura. I got aura of righteousness, which just
Ooh,
sounds
okay.
smug, doesn't it?
It does.
Yeah, it
And
certainly does.
like, actually, I'm
I'm righteous.
our
And
17th level paladin gains a DR5 evil and immunity to compulsion and spell-like abilities. Each ally within 10 feet of her gains +4 morale bonus to saving throws against compulsion effects. And
Nice.
this, so it works as long as I'm not unconscious or dead. And I think I get a new feat, and I might have to lean on my paladin Sherpa, Don, to help me figure out that feat because I'm terrible at trying to pick these feats. So I was
What do
looking at maybe a
what are you
vital
leaning
strike,
towards?
like vital strike maybe.
Vital Strike is a good feat. I like it a lot. But it does have trade-offs. It's one of those where you basically sacrifice multiple attacks for a single attack, but that single attack, if it hits, is much tougher. The damage is much
When,
bigger.
when I was thinking that maybe a lot of times I only get one single attack, and it might be good for me to challenge to take that one because we're gonna be facing a lot of big bads here, and getting a all in strike might be better than trying to get three. Like Fletcher is great at just turning things into pink mist with his multiple strikes, but I think I'm trying to do something a little more surgical.
Well, I think with you especially, what that does is if, with Vital Strike, if you find yourself getting only one attack in rounds because you're moving around a lot, Vital Strike allows you to maximize the damage of that single strike, which sort of gives you license to move around the battlefield a lot more.
Okay.
Yeah,
I did that with a character, man, and I found it useful.
Okay.
I,
Thanks, guys. Was that done?
I like Vital Strike. I like to get it earlier though, so that by this level I've got like improved and greater Vital
Okay.
Strike.
All right. So yeah, I didn't do that.
But we'll yeah, I'll look over and
Unless
I'll
I can
give you
activate the
suggestions.
Omega
You pick what
13
you
and
want.
go back in time
Yes.
we
to
could
take it.
we have an Omega
Five minutes
13.
ago.
We could respec, so it's okay. All right, and then I was wrong about last but not least because the last but not certainly not least is Senor Don Gatto.
I thought I slid under that radar there.
So Gatto,
Uh,
considering the sheer volume of stuff you've stolen everybody from a magic item
I
standpoint,
have not.
what's going on with Gatto at 17th level?
He's got all kinds of appraisal
Yeah.
skills and sales skills.
Embrace evil deity for that's a new feat.
So
It's
so
not
I
new.
did
He's
take,
had it for a while.
since sharing Gato with everyone,
Improve
I
steal
did
from
send Les an
party.
update. I did change the feat that I had
Okay.
selected. At 17th level, I originally thought, hey, I'm going to take bluff, skill focus on bluff.
Okay.
But I've changed that to skill focus on use magic device. I figure it's still bluffing, but I'm bluffing a magic item rather than people.
I'm bluffing in magic item.
So my use
I like
magic
it.
device now is 30.
Wow,
Ooh,
dude.
yeah, you could just pick up just about anything, can't you?
And
You didn't choose improved rob from party?
I don't
He's already
need to.
got
I can
greater
already
version
do
of
without
that.
you guys knowing.
He's
Oh,
already
okay.
rolling 50s
Yeah.
on that. So, I
Yeah.
mean,
So,
yeah.
Did that
He's
before. He
deity
doesn't need
level
it
in that.
anymore.
so
By the way, I felt robbed that I didn't see a ska whale breeder in one of my feet options.
Those
so
days will
Wow.
come.
so
I'm already looking
my
towards
best.
retirement. I gotta invest in the future.
I only gained like 3 hit points because I rolled poorly.
That's why you have less roll.
Yeah, he
Last
rolled
you want
poorly
to roll
for
a
you.
D8 for me?
D8 for you? Yeah, I can do that. Hold on one momentito.
It was like
I
a
got like,
V8 bid. I could have had a D8.
all right, here we go. What do we get? I'm on the wrong thing. Two.
Cheating. And then
Ah,
cheating is a free
Thanks,
action.
Mike.
That's what I'm here for.
This late in the game, you can keep the 3 if you want.
Okay. Um,
So
Well,
any
so
other any other
my
feats or
greatest, that's the only feat I got this level.
okay,
My number one stat for skills is still disable device.
okay.
Against
What's
traps, I am now 51.
plus
wow.
51?
Plus
That's
50.
before he
Okay,
rolls.
okay.
Well, I think it's going to come in
Before you roll.
super handy in this next 3 sessions or so.
It might, it might come up.
Yeah. I can't quite roll a 100 without all the other minuses, but
Not yet. We'll see. Who knows?
Well,
All right. So
Gato just looks at locks and they just like fall open anymore.
nothing is
he doesn't
locked.
even
I
like
keep telling you
doesn't
that
even
nothing
engage
is
with
locked.
nothing is locked. Yeah.
Yeah.
Can you imagine bankers in town are just like, oh, do whatever you have to do.
He walks by the bank, all the vaults spring. And
They spring open, and the money literally flies into his pocket. He just opens the pocket up. All right. So last time, you guys were in the Soul Foundry, in the city of Iz, and above you, tearing the roof off the building, stomping on the thing, the cliff edge is falling into the ravine, into the abyss. Uh, was Karamzada, who had flown out of his tower at you once he realized that you guys theoretically had gotten the suture. And so, in an effort to get out there, as the building is shaking, as rubble is coming down, and Karamzada is peeling back the lid to reach down of the building to reach down there and crush you, you teleport away. Now you had thought about going all the way to Dresden, but you couldn't go all the way to Dresden because you have a demon with you now. In Fletcher's hands, is a uh, I think well is a Dretch, a mutated sort of twisted Dretch that is squirming around and mumbling to itself in Fletcher's hands. You guys materialize out on the open plains outside, about 10 miles outside of Dresden, outside of the protective barrier that the Sword of Valor does, that protects the city from teleportation and with demons, keeping demons from teleporting in, which has saved the city from many issues, many problems over the course of the last year since you guys liberated us. As you guys stomp around in the sort of the dusty reddish ochre of the dust and sand that is out there, and you begin to, all of you, mount on Storm straps as you get ready to fly over into it's true. Now you have a known demon in the party. Now it's an obvious one. Maybe there's not so obvious ones. But yes, so that's a good point, Flashheart. But yeah, you guys all sort of mount up, and Fletcher has this Dretch sort of grabbed in a couple of arms, and it's squirming and mumbling and that kind of stuff. And slowly, an enormous storm takes off like a 747 up into the air, and you can see off in the distance as you guys begin, as Storm's arms start flapping, and you guys are sort of holding on as you fly towards Dresden. You can see there's clouds over Dresden in the night. Nothing unusual, but you can see the lights of the city that you guys helped to liberate, and has subsequently become a bastion of civility and a point of the Crusader spear into the Worldwound. And it's been the city from which you guys have conducted your sorties. So as you fly towards it, and you can see off way in the distance on the horizon, the spires of Citadel Dresden, just sort of barely visible over the horizon. You guys hear Fletcher holding onto his strap, going, "Stay still, you little freak!"
Fletcher's outburst brought Ilendar back to reality. His hand was cramping up from holding on to the long rope stirrups that hung from Storm. Normally, Ilendar would always ride on Storm's back in the saddle while the rest of the group traveled this way. But their new guest needed some extra muscle to hold him still, and that was not one of the Drow's strong suits. He had traded with Fletcher. Rubbing his hand, he thought to himself, I really need to start working out when we get back. He looked up to see Fletcher lightly backhand the brown creature. He chuckled when the barbarian then looked around to see if anyone had noticed.
Lothar says, "Be careful with him." He wearily chastised Fletcher. "We need him alive." "It's still alive," Fletcher retorted with a smirk.
Just then, Storm banked and started descending towards the courtyard of Citadel Dresden.
"It's about time," Gatto said.
Yep.
Storm turned her head and began to defend herself, but when she caught Gatto's eye, she could see him grinning from ear to ear. She turned her head back and chuckled.
"You know, Gatto, I can still smack you from here."
With this, he grabbed the rope that Gatto was clinging to and brought it together with the one that he had been. Sorry
about
he
that.
grabbed the rope that Ferrado was clinging to and brought it together with the one he'd been holding.
"You might hit Ferrado." "Include me not in your mischief," Ferrado said.
As she deftly moved away from the half-elf as he got too close for her comfort. Several people chuckled and then looked down to see the excitement building in the courtyard as they approached. They had been gone for less than a few days, but it felt longer to Ilendar. Everything had become harder, more serious lately. They had come so far since that fateful day in Canabras, but it seemed like every time they overcame an obstacle, vanquished a foe, or saved a life, they were rewarded only with a larger or more deadly obstacles. Ilendar had to wonder how much this incredible but weary band had left in them. He looked around his comrades and could tell that most of them had similar feelings. He stopped briefly, looking at his ever-stoic best friend, who rarely showed any kind of emotion. Even the android showed signs of being distracted by thoughts racing elsewhere. Slight smile spread across the face of the valiant Flashheart as he surveyed the soldiers and other paladins pointing up towards him. but his eyes betrayed a tiredness every member of their squad felt and thoroughly understood. Storm glided into the courtyard and landed with a few trots before coming to a stop. She lowered herself as everyone began to dismount and cast off their packs. Several soldiers came forward to help people down and grab their backpacks. After Illendar had gotten down, he'd stepped back to admire the organization of the troops. Less than a year ago, these troops, who had liberated the castle, and everything was in such disarray, but not today. With all the support they had been given by the surrounding cities and the dedication of those stationed here, if you didn't look outside the walls and see the Worldwound at your doorstep, you would assume you were at any well-established and safe castle along the inner sea.
Excuse me, sir. I'm so sorry.
A young warrior was slinging Flashheart's backpack over his shoulder and bumped into Illendar, knocking a few things from the drow's hand and a belt pouch. No worries, Illendar called back as he bent down to pick things up. You are doing just fine, sir, and thank you for being so diligent in doing your duty. The embarrassed young man nodded and then quickly headed off towards the keep. As Illendar started to put things back into his pouch and pockets, he stopped at one particular item, the scale of Terendelev, the dragon that was killed by the very same demon they had narrowly escaped from just minutes earlier, the very same demon that they were planning on attacking in the morning. He remembered that day as if it were yesterday, the attack and the ambush on Carnivorous with all the demons everywhere, the dead and the dying around them, and then a brief glimmer of hope as the ancient silver dragon rose to engage the awe-inspiring demon. She fought bravely, but was overpowered by the devastating demon. With a swift blow, he almost cleaved her in two and quickly squashed any hope that was left among the inhabitants of Carnivorous. As she fell from the sky, she somehow had noticed a few insignificant humanoids falling through one of the fissures that had just opened in the earth, and in her dying breath cast a spell that saved them. He never forgot that selfless act. Since he had fled to the surface, nobody aside from his friend Bardos had gone out of their way to help or do anything for him. But this dragon had saved his life when hers was being taken from her. He vowed that day that he would find some way to pay back her sacrifice. When he was brought back to life after dying at the hands of the hag, he realized that he was surrounded by some of the smartest and most divinely inspired companions around, and that they were all he needed to achieve his goal.
Where do you want this demon?
Fletcher called out as he jumped down from Storm's back. Flashheart freed himself from the soldiers that swarmed to greet him, and his countenance quickly turned from smiling drinking buddy with his peers to military commander, and he began barking out commands.
Phillipson, you and your squad escort this beast to a cell and place a 24/7 guard on the outside. Borag, get with the other watch commanders and put us on alert status. There's an elevated risk of attack until we leave tomorrow. And you, Tinsdale, go get Irabat and the rest of the council and have them meet us in the Great Hall in 15 minutes.
After receiving their orders, each man quickly saluted and barked, "Aye, sir," then moved out to follow the orders given. When Flashheart was satisfied that all of his tasks were in motion, he dropped the drill sergeant tone and addressed his companions.
Hey guys, we need to stow our stuff quickly and be in the Great Hall in 15. We need to give a report, and there is a lot to do and plan for tonight. Tomorrow morning will come faster than we would like, so we need to hop to it.
After Flashheart was finished, Illendar looked back down at the scale that was in his hands. He thought about the fight earlier that day and how it felt watching the undead dragon crumble. We now have everything we need, he thought to himself, but something kept nagging at him. They might not come back from the fighting they had planned tomorrow. This needed to happen tonight.
Are you okay?
A hand on his shoulder brought him back to his thoughts. He looked up to see Bardos' inquisitive eyes meeting his. Yeah, I guess.
That is not what your eyes say.
Illendar shook his head with a defeated chuckle. For an android who rarely shows or uses emotion, Bardos had learned to read Illendar like a book. Well, what are my eyes saying then? Illendar and Bardos shared a smile at Illendar's sudden outburst. After a few moments, Illendar's face became serious again. It is time. Confusion turned to recognition as Bardos looked down and saw the dragon scale in his friend's hand.
It makes sense. The Crusaders will need a plan B if we fail tomorrow.
Illendar looked down at the scale and replied, yeah, that too. 15 minutes later, they were all assembled in the Great Hall. They gave their report to the Citadel's leadership and outlined what they had accomplished, why they had the demon, and what they had planned to do in the morning. During the hour-long meeting, plans were made, assignments were given. As the meeting was coming to a close, Arabeth asked.
Is there anything else before we adjourn and get to work?
Several people were yawning and rubbing their eyes when Ilendar spoke up. I think we need to perform the ritual to bring back Terendelev. A long pause followed, shock and confusion evident on the faces of those who had gathered.
What was that?
Arabeth apprehensively asked. A little more boldly this time, he stated, "We need to perform the ritual that will bring back our old friend and protect her back to us."
Okay, Irabeth answered. I will add that to my list of things to plan, and we will make sure that happens just as soon as the world.
No! Elendar was even taken back by how loud that came out, but he quickly regained his composure and continued, "We need to do this tonight." With that, several people in the room started mumbling their disapproval and complaining that the hour was late and there was already a lot of work that needed to happen in the next 12 hours. Gato approached Ilendar.
Hey, man, we're still in danger here, and we need to get all the rest we can if we are going to defeat Karamzada. So we promise we will do this, but this isn't the time. What happens if we get attacked tonight and Lothar isn't able to help because he used all his healing energies on this?
A murmur of agreement came from several throughout the room. Tears began to swell in Elendar's eyes as he pleaded, "I know the timing could be better, but let's not sugarcoat this. Tomorrow is going to be tough. There's a chance that some or all of us might not come back. We finally have everything we need to do this. This dragon gave her life protecting the people of Tenebris and specifically saved several of us when we were falling to our deaths during that attack. You guys found a way to bring me back when I died, and I had done but a small fraction of what Terendelev had done for us all. We owe it to her." Corrado, who had been quiet throughout the whole meeting, stood up and placed a comforting hand on Ilendar's arm while gesturing to Lothar.
Our friend Lothar is the best healer I have ever known or heard of, for that matter. I think some of you are not showing him the respect that he deserves.
She turned to address Lothar.
This ritual or spell that Ilendar is speaking of, how difficult it is for you.
Lothar rose to his feet and smiled at Corrado.
I appreciate the kind words and your faith in me, friend.
He turned back to address the rest of the room.
Resurrecting Terendelev is no small endeavor. I would be lying if I said it would be easy. It will, in fact, be fairly exhausting for both her and I. See?
Gato explained, several from the crowd nodding in approval.
I'm not saying we shouldn't do this. We should just wait until it's safer to do so.
Lothar raised his hand to quiet Gato.
Again, resurrecting Terendelev will leave me temporarily weakened, which might give us pause with our current predicament. However, Ilendar has spoken to me about this many times in our travels, and it's obvious that this means a great deal to him. I too feel a debt to Terendelev for saving my life. While it will be some time before she can help us physically, the intelligence and wisdom she could add to our own could prove useful. I think we should do it.
Bardos came forward and added,
I also think this is a good idea based on the reasons given, and I like that if we fail tomorrow, there will be another significant power that can pick up where we left off.
Flashheart stood.
She did save our lives. Even if we didn't do this for that reason, we should at least do it because it's the right thing to do. I know Iomade would smile upon this decision.
Fletcher spoke from the back corner where he had been cleaning his weapons from the day's fun.
I'm not a leader or a fancy talker like the lot of you, but I know one thing very well, and that's fighting. I know that the side that has a dragon among its ranks will make the other side piss their pants and much easier to slay, so I say bring her back. It'll also be more fun to cut the demons in half if they're scared.
Arabeth cleared her throat and looked at Gato, who held his hands up in defeat and sat back down.
It is decided then. Everyone do what you can in an hour and meet back here, cleaned up and ready for the ceremony.
When everyone returned to the Great Hall, it was cleaner and brighter and filled with the higher-ranking political and military leaders of Dresden. Ilendar couldn't help but look with pride at his friends. They cleaned up nicely, and with their formal dress, looked like any group of heroes imagined from a book or displayed in a majestic painting. Arabeth stood at the podium and raised her hands to quiet the crowd. Without a word from her, a silence fell across the room and all turned to face her.
Thank you for gathering on such short notice, she started as she surveyed the room. It is my honor to...
Several gasps interrupted her speech as Queen Galfrey quickly strode into the room. The queen smiled at the shock and elation on the faces of those she passed by, and she winked at Arabeth as she continued her sentence.
It is your honor to introduce the queen to officiate these proceedings.
A light laughter rippled through the crowd and then faded quickly.
I would like to thank you, Rabeth, for getting word to me so quickly, and for starting this due to my tardiness.
She assumed her position behind the podium and smiled brightly as she addressed the assembly.
I would also like to take this opportunity to thank you all here for your efforts and your triumphs in this crusade, not only taking this castle back from the demons, but returning it back to the true fortress it once was. Together we have all come so far, and with our momentum we will achieve the ultimate victory very soon.
Several cheers came from the crowd while the queen took in the scene. After it quieted again, she raised her hand to point to the seats where Ilendar and friends were sitting and continued.
I would finally like to recognize our heroes here that have been instrumental in making so many of these victories possible.
A second cheer erupted from the crowd, and as the queen looked around the room to see all the cheering, she joined in, clapping her hands. After several seconds, the cheering died down and the queen continued.
I want to personally thank you for all you have done for Kenebris, for the Crusade, the Crusaders, and finally for me personally. My heart broke when I heard that Terendelev had fallen. She was an amazing ally in the fight against evil and a great friend. I never thought to have her company again, and yet this is why we are gathered here today. You friends have surprised me again, and I give you permission to keep pleasantly surprising me with as many of these as you wish.
The queen then motioned for Erebeth to come to her side, and they whispered back and forth for a few seconds before the queen turned back to address the assembly.
At this time, I would like to ask Lothar to come up to the front, and I will turn this service over to his divine inspiration.
With that, the queen waved Lothar forward and moved back to sit directly behind the podium to observe the proceedings. Lothar stood, gathered a large tome, and with purpose made his way up to the altar that was positioned right in front of the podium. He laid the book down, produced a large diamond from his pocket, and laid that at the center of the altar. He then thumbed through the pages until he reached his goal, and then he removed his holy symbol from his neck and addressed Ilendar.
Ilendar, would you please come forward with the remains of Terendelev?
Ilendar nervously stood, reached into his belt pouch, and then grabbed the bone that was sitting next to him. As he proceeded to the altar, Lothar continued.
Please place the bone and the scale in the middle of the altar, next to the diamond.
Ilendar cradled the bone and scale almost as if they were a baby and gently placed them in the altar as instructed. After a quick bow, Ilendar pivoted to return to his seat, only to be stopped by Lothar. He smiled at the nervous drow and pointed for him to stand at the side of the altar. After Ilendar moved over to the side and turned to face the altar, Lothar placed his finger in the book, underlining the passage. He held his holy symbol up and started the incantation. As the divine words flowed from the mouth of the priest, he took on a heavenly countenance. Starting with his hands, and then slowly spreading to his whole body, he started to glow. As the glowing started to become brighter, he took his hand from the book and placed it directly above the items on the altar, and the glow spread to them. The brightness continued to increase, as did the volume of Lothar's voice. The pieces on the altar began to levitate, and after they reached a few inches in height, the bright light surrounding the priest at the altar started coalescing around the remains to form a humanoid form. As this continued, Lothar's voice became weaker and his breathing labored, but the priest held his place and fixated on focusing all of his healing energies on the forming body. The struggle went on for almost 30 seconds. It ended suddenly with the remaining light and energies imploding into the body. Several gasps broke the silence as all the attendants witnessed a real and solid naked female form lying in the altar where the diamond, scale, and bone had just been a few moments before. Ilendar looked down at the face of the woman. She looked elegantly peaceful as she lay there, but as he continued to observe her, he noticed she was not breathing. A little alarmed, he looked back up at Lothar. The priest was sweating profusely and obviously using his hands to steady himself and keep himself upright. After a few seconds, Lothar caught the drow's concerned look. He smiled weakly and without a word nodded him towards the white robe that was on the floor next to the altar. Ilendar reached down and picked up the robe. As he started unfolding it and moving to the front of the altar, Lothar uttered one last divine phrase and brought his holy symbol down and touched the woman's forehead. Just as Ilendar started to hold the robes out to cover the woman, a sharp inhale from her made him jump back a bit. Her eyes fluttered open, blinking several times as if trying to bring the view into focus. Ilendar, frozen in shock for what he had just witnessed. He watched this woman, who was a diamond, a bone, and a scale less than a minute ago, have the breath of life put back into her by Lothar, and he was just amazed. So much so that it took a second rousing from Lothar to shock him back to reality. Lothar weakly chuckled at Ilendar and then motioned towards the robe.
I'm sure she would love to have that robe to cover up with any time now.
Ilendar looked down at her, then looked at the robe in his hands, then overreacted so fast that it looked like he almost threw the robe over. After a few moments, Terendelev looked down at the robe and then around at all the people. She didn't say anything as she started to clumsily try to put her arms through the sleeves of the robe. Ilendar hesitantly stepped forward to help her. Her eyes kept darting around the people of the room, resting on some more than others, but came back to Ilendar several times before she looked up at him and spoke.
You look familiar to me, but I don't know you. Who are you? Where am I, and how did I get here?
Without hesitating, she gestured to everyone in the room.
What is the meaning of all this?
Ilendar paused for a second, took a deep breath, and then started. We kind of brought you back.
From where?
The dead? It was obvious by her reaction she did not expect that answer. She paused, looking down, with her brows furrowed as she was trying to recall something or figure something out. Ilendar took advantage of her pondering to continue with his answers. I know you probably don't remember me, or maybe even what happened, but a little over a year ago, demons attacked Kenebris. Ilendar pointed towards his friends as he continued. Most of us were there as it happened, and were just trying to escape the death and carnage. You came to the city's aid and fought to save the city. A large Balor by the name of Karamzada appeared and started slaughtering anyone close to him. You put yourself between him and us, and the two of you fought fiercely. Unfortunately, he got the upper hand and delivered a fatal blow to you. At the exact same moment, a giant fissure opened up under our feet and swallowed us into the earth. As I was falling to my death, I looked up to see you also falling to your death. But then your final action before you crashed to the ground was to cast a spell to save our lives. Ilendar waited for a moment to let her process what he had just told her. I never forgot that sacrifice, and since then my friends and I have made it our mission to take up your cause to repay your act of selflessness forward to those who you were trying to save. We have worked hard and fought many seamlessly hopeless fights and have been victorious. It was then I started to realize that our little band that you saved can do anything we put our minds to. And I thought the best way to thank you was not just to continue your fight, but it was to give you back what was stolen from you and thank you in person. Ilendar bowed his head and then in a more serious tone concluded, on behalf of Lothar of Erastil, Brado of the Wilds, Flashheart, the Paladin of Iomedae, Fletcher the Strong, the Genius Bardos, and, well, me, Ilendar. Thank you for saving our lives.
Author.
Wow. Wow.
Very nice.
So
Awesome.
everyone, we sort of surprised you with that. Mike wrote this to sort of usher in the new sort of adventure you guys are getting to embark on. As you after this ceremony is over, Terendelev, who is now in the shape of a humanoid woman. I mean, not human per se. Obviously, there's something very different about this woman. You could tell almost immediately that she's not entirely human, but Terendelev seems confused. Queen Galfrey comes over and embraces her, as does Irabet, and she seems confused, a little bit, disoriented, that kind of stuff. And they do eventually sort of usher her away as the crowd sort of go out. It is the middle of the night after all, and so it makes sense that they're probably going to take her and get some rest. In the meantime, Terendelev is back. Now you guys have some time to think about what you want to do and perhaps make use of this new and powerful ally that you guys have. I'm assuming that she will want to talk with you guys when she's had some rest and is sort of recombobulated herself potentially in the morning. Any questions on any of that material? I want to say thanks again to Mike for writing this. It was fantastic. I'm sorry?
It sure was. It was awesome. Nice treat.
Yeah, very good.
Any questions?
That
That was awesome. Way to drag it up.
Yeah, so it wasn't
Um,
just me. Okay.
yeah, it was for everybody. I thought that was great. Thanks, Mike. Thanks, Les. That was a nice little
Call
dovetail to our adventure and
It
nice way to
was
set it up.
Mike's idea, and he wrote it. So I just helped out with a few of the voices.
You made it sound so smart. Fleshheart has trouble living up to your perception.
He always has. That's why he's got a book.
That's why he's got a book.
All right. So, with that, you guys do have a chance to get some rest. But let's talk a little bit about. I don't know if you've all had a chance to look over that email that I didn't send you, but there's a lot of information in there about what challenges you guys are facing. So wasn't sure if you guys had had a chance to look at that or talk about it amongst yourselves at all. But I wanted to sort of go through it a little bit and talk about what essentially you guys are facing and what you have to do. Um, so let's start at the beginning, the things that you've already talked about. So the Worldwound is on essentially 48-hour watch. You guys know that the Worldwound is going to essentially rapidly expand. The Worldwound itself, the magic that holds it together, is loosening, is deteriorating, and it's going to rapidly expand. It's like imagine the abyss as a big bag, and the world wound is a cut in the bag, and demons come out of that cut, out of the bag into our world. The bag is about to split wide open, making very much easier for huge armies of demons to walk through into the world. It's also going to expand the area in which the pernicious effects of the world wound's radiation, which you've already been dealing with to a certain extent, is going to affect. And it will expand that area, that destructive area. That's quite right. So that's about 48 hours away. So you don't have a ton of time. Um, that said, the likelihood is, well, it's not a likelihood. Fact is, Karamzada, and thereby Arilu Vorlish, certainly know that you guys have the Nihydrian Chisel, you've killed Mistress Anamora, and you have the Suture, because that is indeed what the Dretch is. That Dretch is the Suture. Um, they can interpret this as meaning that you guys, as a party, have decided to try and close the whirlwind. What they don't know is that you guys know that there's a time limit. So probably what Arilu Vorlesh and Karamzada are thinking right now is the idea of like, all we need to do is wait them out for 2 days.
Nope.
The world wound explodes, and then those guys in Dresden won't matter anymore because we will suddenly have great armies at our disposal. Um, they don't know that you guys know that the magic is. They don't know that you guys have the lexicon of paradox, which allows you to conduct a thing. They probably assume that any attempt on your part is doomed to fail, just because either you're gonna waste too much time, or you just simply won't have the right tools to get it done. They don't know that you guys have the lexicon of paradox. So that said, they're not fools. Almost certainly they would have pulled back their armies and put they know where the source of the world wound energy is, so they're going to guard it, and they are going to try to essentially run out the clock. That said, we have a lot of information here. So first things first, from a challenge standpoint, the ritual that closes the world wound is an exceptionally difficult series of simultaneous skill checks. It needs at least 4 people to conduct the ritual. And the skill checks are disable device, knowledge planes, linguistics, perception, spellcraft, and use magic device. These are the skill checks that will need to be made. This is potentially the greatest skill challenge ever invented. Further, at least one of the participants has to carry the lexicon and lead the ritual, which has its own problems. So Galfrey had told you previously that there were certain things that if you did beforehand, it would make the job easier. Killing Mistress Anamora, killing Karamzada, killing Arilu Vordesh. Also, casting Dimensional Lock on places in the building where you can, where the magic is weakest. If you can control those places, of which there are 4, you guys will get it makes the chances better. You've already got the Nihydrian Chisel. You've already got the Suture. let's talk about the fortress itself. So close to the world wound, there's a couple of problems here. So as this close to the world wound, reality itself shifts and rides between the material plane and the abyss. And as a result, you can have semi-real sensations, visions, hallucinations. Colloquially, these things are known as abyssal upheavals, and they can affect your ability to perceive what's going on around you. The fortress, which originally was an actual fortress, which was named Threshold, existed before the World Wound and was once used by the Sarkorians to imprison arcane magic users. Arcane magic was illegal in Sarkori, and this is where they would prison them and help them to do research to take advantage of their thing. So Aurilu of Varesh was originally imprisoned here. She immediately, once she was imprisoned there, which was a little over a century ago, 116 years ago, she immediately started trying to escape. She recruited a couple of prisoners to help her, and they managed to open a portal about 8 years later after her imprisonment, which created the World Wound and plunged the Tower of Threshold into a sort of in between fortress. Since then, over the course of that, it has sort of been hung in the rifts have sort of materialized around it and it's become a thing. The original portal that Aurilu Vorlesh created is in the bowels of this fortress, and it's there that the ritual has to be performed. So here's some other fun stuff. Due to the vagaries of the world wound radiation, anybody who attempts to teleport has to make a DC 30 caster level check, or the attempt fails. And if it fails, you take 1d4 points of ability drain to intelligence, wisdom, or charisma. Whatever your primary thing is. If you are a teleporter, if you are a wizard, you take the damage to intelligence. If you are a cleric, you take it to wisdom, and so on. The whole interior of the tower of this fortress is under the effect of an unhallow spell. So an unhallow spell, basically, it's like a magic circle against good. It allows bonuses to resist negative energy channeled, or positive energy at them, and there are can be spells assigned to it. In some cases, aid, bane. These things will assist the creatures that live there. So there's that. The fortress walls are filled with abyssal energy, and while they are made of stone, they are massively strong, much stronger than normal stone walls would be. Same for the doors. These doors are reinforced cold iron, massively strong, and they automatically lock when they close. Although the touch of any demon causes these doors to swing open automatically. Something to consider. The
Luckily,
wall,
Does that include the suture?
it would, yeah. It is.
that might be the
Suture is a
whole
demon.
point.
So
Okay.
good. So Gato can open those doors just by touching
No,
them.
I cannot.
The walls are covered with vermin. Remember, Deskari is the god of evil insects. So it's covered with maggots and spiders and locusts and centipedes and all kinds of horrible things. They create a constant distracting sound, skittering and whistling sounds. And should any of you touch the walls, you immediately take 2d6 points of swarm damage and must succeed at a DC 20 fort save or be nauseated for a round because there's so many creatures crawling the walls. All right, so that's the tower. That's the fortress that you're going into. So scariest environment imaginable. So how do you close a world wound? The first thing you have to do is stage one is preparation. One character, the leader, has to read several passages out of the Lexicon of Paradox. Technically, you need to be able to read Abyssal, Aklo, Druidic, and Thessalonian, or be under the effects of comprehend languages. I don't know that any of you have all four of those languages. The preparation ritual requires concentration and takes 6 minutes, 600 rounds. Wait, 60 rounds, not 600
60
rounds.
rounds, yeah.
Sorry, my math is not good. At the end of each 10th round,
5 days.
5 days, yeah, 5 days, sorry. No, 6 minutes. At the end of each minute, at each 10th round, the reader who's doing the ritual must succeed at a DC 25 will save or take 1d4 points of wisdom damage, as the contents of the Lexicon of Paradox slowly drive them mad. Casting spells like Restoration on the reader periodically can help ensure that the reader doesn't collapse from wisdom drain before they get to the end of the 6 minutes. All right. Once you start this ritual, The shuddering and shrieking of reality swiftly alert anything within the tower. Any guardians left alive in Threshold will converge to attack the PCs once they begin to ritual. So theoretically, it's tactically sound to try and clear out the entire fortress as much as possible before you begin. All right, that's the preparation stage.
Yeah,
The
that's
second
stage
one,
one.
that's stage one. Stage two is invoking the ritual. This is your big boy. All right, so the PCs can use the following methods of focusing your energies: disable device, knowledge planes, linguistics, magic or smiting, that kind of thing. Essentially the skill checks, although you can do smite evil too, so that's one. Once the primary participants, that's you guys, decide each how they want to focus their spiritual energies on the world wound, everyone must attempt the appropriate skill check or attack. If you're using a spell, you can attempt a concentration check or a caster level check as if attempting to penetrate spell resistance. It's like that. If you're smiting, you make an attack roll. For each of you need to succeed on a DC 100 skill check, concentration or caster level check. DC 100. For every time you succeed, you get one closure point.
Like we actually have to hit 100? You have to roll 100?
We'll get to there. We'll get there.
Wow.
We'll get there. So 100 sounds pretty tough.
Big
It is really tough. So, but there
100 is impossible.
it's not impossible. You got a plus 50, but
Okay,
right.
I roll a d20.
That's a good point. All right, so we'll get to that.
Game mechanics broken.
That's not broken yet. Hold on. There's more. So
There's
if you succeed, you get a closure point. If you fail, you don't get a closure point, and you gain 1d4 negative levels as a portion of your soul is drawn into the World Wound Fortitude DC 30 negates. If you get 4 closure points, you move on to stage 3. Otherwise, you have to restart the ritual at stage 1, which means 6 more minutes of preparation.
No.
Before you can try
plus
again.
we have to regain all the levels of whatever that we lost, right?
Yes.
Basically.
Yeah. All right. So we're not gonna
wait.
Go ahead.
So everyone tries a skill check, right?
Or an attack.
No, not everyone. Anybody. Well,
we
you guys will decide. Yeah, exactly.
Needs to be at least 4 people.
At least 4.
Do we have to get those 4 points in one round?
Yes.
So everyone has to succeed.
Well, if you do 5 or 6 people, so there's 7 people in your party. Now the reality is, and don't take this wrong, Dan, but Fletcher is unlikely to be able to pull off any of these skill checks. But
yes, wait.
Go ahead.
You said you could also smite, right?
Can Dan smite?
If Flashheart does a burst,
that's
everyone
a good point.
had smite evil.
That's a good point.
I wouldn't waste that on that though.
Oh, I would.
So, if you succeed, you go to stage 3.
I definitely would.
So if you succeed, you get 4 closure points. You go to stage 3, which is close the world one. Once you have accumulated the 4 closure points, the orange glow of the vortex goes out for 1 round. At this point, the lexicon of paradox must be thrown into the dark vortex. If it's not thrown into the vortex in 1 round, the world wound returns to normal. All right.
Does
Jennifer,
the suture know this?
The suture, doesn't know anything.
Okay.
It's essentially a brain damaged and physically damaged Dretch.
Why don't we wait till we headbutt him into the door? Then he'll really be brain damaged.
You shouldn't talk about it.
As long as he's alive.
Like that. He's a member of our party now, right?
He's part of the club now?
Yeah. I'm going to show him the book, like what he can and can't do according to the Paladin book here.
All right. So, Jennifer, you mentioned DC 100 is impossible. That's true. Normally. But if you go down, there are a list of things that affect that DC for all of you. And you've already accomplished a couple, right? So the DC, do you guys have that email in front of you, or do you want me to share it?
Okay, that's what you meant by that. No, I read it 3 times. But...
Okay, so reducing the Paradox Ritual DC. Your accomplishments add permanent, for everybody, DC reductions. So far, you've reduced the DC of that accomplishment by 18 points by killing. You've already killed Mistress Anamora, which reduces it to 96. You've got the Nihydrian Chisel, which is another 4, so reduces it to 92. You have the Suture, and if you can keep them alive, that will reduce it to 82. There are a bunch of other things that you can do. So for each participant taking part in the ritual, you get another -2. So the more the merrier. Each dimensional lock placed on the 4 key locations is a -4 for each, up to -16 if you can find all 4. Imeslin freed or slain. You haven't met them yet. You don't know who that is. Mistress of Anamora is already slain. Nihydra and Shizu you already got. Opon's spirit released, -4. You don't know who Opon is either. Wiver Nochlin is slain, -4. Karamzad is slain, -6. Aurilu Vorlesh is slain, -10. If you guys manage to get everything on this chart, and you have 5 people participating in the ritual, that reduces it. What was it, Mike? Did we track it down to? It reduces it to 28?
28 or 30, something like that.
28 or 32. I can't remember exactly right. But that is a doable DC. In fact, I mean, think about it from the point of Gatto. Gatto says he's got his disable. So disable device is one of the things. So Gatto is likely to be one of the people, and he will get at a DC 32, he gets an automatic closure point. So here is where I turn it over to you guys. So suddenly planning becomes involved, right? Do we have enough dimensional locks? Do we have enough, for the reader? Who's going to be the reader? Who's going to be the person preparing to cast restoration on them? How are you going to defend yourselves when you start the ritual and every still existing creature in the entire tower starts heading for you guys at top speed? Probably every demon will start heading for you guys at top speed. Now, the reality is if they're in the city, the likelihood of them getting to you in 6 minutes is pretty low, but not impossible.
So as far as the person doing the ritual, I've got a pretty good will save, and my character is the most useless of all the characters because my power isn't with Illandar, it's with Storm. So I should probably be the one reading because I don't, taking me off the field of combat doesn't really hurt anybody. And like I said, I've got a pretty good will save. So
Do you have comprehend languages?
yes, and actually I've got all these languages.
Oh, you
Do you
have all the
really?
languages.
You have Aklo?
I had all of them but one. And actually I was going to ask you if it was okay to get that last one.
As part of your 17th level, sure.
So last one I didn't have was Druidic.
All right, there you go. Well, now that certainly.
Yeah,
I thought
Illandar
this was
has
gonna.
like 22 languages he speaks, so he's no slouch in that area.
Les,
Yes.
can we pick up some repel vermin potions?
So as you guys are talking about this, so the reality is you would not have time to make them. You guys have to leave in the morning. You only have 48 hours before the thing blows up.
Right.
So you wouldn't have time to make them. But because this is so important, Queen Galfrey has said, give me a list. I will put it out on the wire as quickly as possible and see what we have. Reality is, depending on what you ask for, you can probably get it. But if you ask for
Corrado
100,
picked up a spell to repel vermin with 10-foot radius. So I can't move everybody, but I can move some people around
I think
that
we
wall
only have to
above the
deal with that if
wall.
we touch the wall, right?
Yeah, we
it
don't
only
have
happens.
to have it, but it would come in very handy.
Yeah, and I also picked up a spell to cure nausea. So I'll get one of those.
Well, that'll help too. Yeah.
So for the person, could be me, that falls into the wall.
Or gets thrown into the wall.
Yeah.
Is there anything that can be done to assuage the abyssal upheaval?
What's that?
That's the just being in the place.
Yeah, the upheavals, the things that cause hallucinations.
Yeah.
Potentially, it's a great question. Potentially, what's that thing that Lothar cast on you guys when you guys were on the in Baphomet's plane in the
Planar
mountains?
adaptation.
Planar adaptation. That would probably preclude there being problems.
And
What's
planar
the duration on that?
adaptation, planar adaptation mass is what I've been casting on us since we've been in Is
So, question, and you
Okay.
said it was at least,
to
sorry.
to combat the radiation we're already facing. And I think that lasts for a day. Hang on
For
a
a
second.
day.
Yeah.
I think so too. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, it's only like 4th level, but it's a mass spell, so I only have to cast it once. And I think it's per day. Hang on.
Yeah, it would allow you to sort of your minds to accommodate to the abyssal radiation, just like it's been doing when you guys have been in the city.
Matt, what were you saying? You're on mute.
I was saying that I know Les mentioned if we fail somebody's, there's a big stat loss there. Do we have anything to combat that or your recovers?
Restoration.
So do we, I know some of us can cast that, but do we have any?
Well, no, I would
Resin
recommend
or Galfrey have. What's that?
a wand of restoration is not a super rare item, and I can't imagine if we add that to our list that wouldn't be one of the things she can find for us, and then we just give it to Lothar, and then he can keep his spells for his good stuff, and then just use the wand to.
Right. I see like we want a second chance on everything. We need
Well,
some
and
backup.
the question is the D4 loss for failing a skill check or whatever,
Right.
Mm-hmm.
is that a permanent or temporary? Because
That is
that depends. It depends on what spell you need to deal with those. Because if it's temporary loss, you can fix all of the temporary loss with just restoration. But if it's permanent, you can only fix that with greater restoration.
I think it's permanent because it says a portion of your soul is drawn into the world wound.
I thought it was the difference between lesser and just regular.
Well, lesser is regular.
Okay.
The paladin has all kinds of questions about soul siphoning from the populace of Dresden, but I know people are going to freak out about it, so I just leave it alone.
You'll add another page to your book.
Yeah, like what if everybody gave like 10% of their soul? Just hypothetically. I'm just talking here. What? What?
So is that going to want to go on your list? Is a wand of restoration?
Yeah, I actually put together a list of.
There's 3 different restorations: lesser, regular, and greater.
Yeah, and the regular one. The
And
regular
which
one.
You would need greater.
No, greater does everything. We don't.
But those
Lesser. I mean, I'm sorry, not lesser, but the regular one, not the greater one, but the regular one does stats, and it does a
does it
like a
does it
D6 plus something, or a D4 plus something, or a.
it fixes permanent stuff? Hang on, I'll look it up.
It fixes
ask for
permanent
all of them.
stats. It'll do 1 permanent negative level. Greater restores all negative levels.
Greater restores everything, which that would work, but that's overkill for what we need.
Well, it doesn't hurt to ask for it if they got one laying around. I mean, it's not like
Right.
if we don't use it, we can give it back to them.
But like I said, a wand of just the regular, I think, would do us fine. The 2 other things I've got on my list is if we can get scrolls of dimensional lock, because I don't know, Gordon, if you can cast that 4 times, but either way, I'd like to have your spells saved for stuff that we might use in combat.
Yeah, I can cast it twice. I can teach it to you though, Mike, if you can learn. It's only a 6th level spell for you.
Only.
It's not on my spell list, so you could never teach it to me.
Okay. But yeah, we can.
I mean, I could cast it off a scroll because it's arcane.
Yeah, if we can have scrolls of it, it's a spell we know we need. If we have a scroll, multiple people can use it, not just.
And actually, with that monster used a magic device, heck, Gato could cast it off there. But anyway, so I got 4 scrolls of dimensional lock, a wand of restoration, and then multiple potions of heroism, and that is just because that's a fairly inexpensive way to give us a +2 to all of our skills. And so when we're trying to do the skill check, that gets us 2 closer, no matter where we're at. I mean, obviously Gato wouldn't need that because he's going to have, double the DC before he even starts, but the rest of us aren't that good.
And I've got the augment thing too. I can do a +4 to any skill for anybody.
Yeah.
How many times can you do that?
I can do it 14 times a day.
But it has to be used that next round, though, right?
No, it lasts for 8 rounds.
Oh, it lasts for 8 rounds.
So you could
cast it on everybody, and then
and
they
then,
do it.
And as soon as you get the last person, then we do it. No, that's awesome.
And
Let's
the
say
other,
we could, can we,
the,
can
oth-
we,
the, oth-
go ahead.
the other thing is Fateful Channel, which will give you a
that's
chance
right.
to roll twice and take the better result on your skill check.
Oh, I didn't think about that. Yeah,
excellent.
that's a big deal.
Nice. Just plain the
Yeah,
law
it's-
averages. Let's say we get half these done. Are we able to make the DC 100s on these? Let's say we get half of these done. So is that
No,
we
No,
have to get all of them done?
pretty much need all of them.
yeah,
Well,
because all of them brings it down to about a 30. Now,
Right.
except for Gatto, who's got like a plus 50 disabled device. That's the one exception. The rest of us, like, look at your stuff. If you have knowledge planes, I have knowledge planes plus 20.
Yeah.
So you're still
Right.
at a 50-50.
So
So he's
I'm
at
still at
50-50 if we do
right.
everything.
I'm
Yes.
still at 50-50 with everything here. And
All right.
that's if
All
I get
right.
chosen to do that.
Right.
The other ones are
good night, Eric.
smite, which
Eric.
I agree with Don. If the paladin can do that thing that allows Fletcher to smite with a hit, then his plus 9,000 to hit
Yes.
makes that a much easier attack roll if he's smiting evil.
See,
So
I think
that
we're going to have several battles against super tough creatures that I think we're going to need to be using those communal smite evils
right.
just so we can, come out on top on those fights.
Is there
How
anything
how
else
many
we
of
do
those
to
do you have
reduce these
now, Matt?
DCs that we don't have currently that might be either we can pick up or that we can have Queen Golfrey send us along the way in her care package?
How many what?
1 day shipping, right? I said, was there anything else that we can either get from Golfrey or that that we could help to help her that's not already been on this list that could help reduce a DC?
If we want to burn an extra teleport, we could technically, as soon as we're ready to leave here in the morning, instead of teleporting directly outside the city to make the assault, we can do a teleport down to Absalom, which is the largest capital city. Spend an hour or two trying to hit. I mean, we wouldn't be able to customize anything, but we could hit several magic shops just to see if we could purchase these things, and then we use the teleport to go.
Well,
And
I'm sure
Does
Queen Galfrey has an Amazon account. She can have them next to
yeah,
her drone
She's
ship.
gonna have them over. Yeah,
doesn't one of us have
1 hour delivery.
I'm not sure if Dresden qualifies for the 2-day delivery.
doesn't one of us, I can't remember who, has an unquestionably evil girlfriend who has like the biggest and most magical city in all the dimensions? What's her name again? What's that? Anybody remember who we were talking about?
Uh,
But I remember some pretty good novelty magic shops laying around that place.
We're not going to keep asking for her help every time we need it, are we?
Plane shifts.
I
well,
do.
she hasn't. She hasn't. We haven't asked her for help every time. You and Don do,
Yeah,
but
is
that's
that not
because
in
you.
the book yet, Matt?
In all
That's because
fairness, in all
you
fairness,
sold your souls
I've talked
already.
to her a lot. She's
Is
almost
that the
never,
book? Stop
never
asking
answered.
demon goddesses for help every time you get stuck. Holy man, I got you.
Do we need to put that in the book?
No, Don and Dan have already sold their souls.
I
They're
think
they're bought and paid for,
Oh,
so they might as
Well,
well make use of their dark goddess.
and I'll talk to Ioma Day too, see if she's got anything that I'm not aware of. So, you know, I got to chat. I got to chat with
like I said, I've asked her several times, but she's hardly ever replied back. So
She
I'm-
mortals
I
bother
was going
me.
to say, really,
she has other servants. She can't
I
be just
am not top
waiting
on her
around
list.
by the
Yeah.
phone, you know?
Yeah.
She's
I'm
got stuff
sure.
going on.
I'm sure Iomade has a nice boutique somewhere that she can pluck up a few magic items and give them to her what is he, the voice, or no, he's the guy we
I'm the Herald,
resurrected.
baby.
Speaking of
There you
the
go. The
Harold.
guy we
I,
resurrected and sent
I,
back who turned into the biggest chicken ever.
I'm
The
like, yeah,
Herald?
the Herald.
He
Pretty
was
sure it is the Herald.
he's the former Herald.
yeah.
Yeah,
I'm like the
he's
MC.
ex-Herald,
I'm
late
not. I'm
Herald.
like the warm-up actor before. Put your hands together. Here comes the greatest warrior goddess that ever lived. Ioma Day. That's how I bring her on.
You're the hype man. Okay.
That's what a herald is, right? I remember Paul Bettany's character in A Knight's Tale, where he's Chaucer, he's Geoffrey Chaucer, like bringing on
Yeah.
knights.
Oh yeah.
That's who I want to be.
Yeah.
um, so yeah, I think we get the list to her, and if we don't get it by morning, I don't think we have a ton of stuff on our list. If we don't get those by morning, then, like I said, with one extra teleport, we can all go shopping in Absalom for an hour and then start the assault.
Do you guys have any money?
Yes, we do actually. And actually that's something I was gonna bring
Queen
up.
Guilford
Yeah,
does.
we just
So
grabbed Otto
I
by his
grabbed all
ankles
this
and
stuff
kicked
that
him.
I've only got 2 things that I see have been given out, but just really quick, give me 60 seconds. +4 speed battle axe, +4 half plate. I don't even know how to say that rod. A +4 dancing glaive, masterwork elfin chain +2, belt of physical perfection +4, headband of inspired wisdom +4.
Okay, so you guys
Why
have
Yeah,
stuff to
isn't someone
sell.
wearing
we've
the
got we've got a
physical
few, we've got a
perfection
couple
+4?
we've got a couple grand of stuff, sword of subtlety, wand of innervation, robe of whatever colors,
You guys
amulet of
have, there might be some valuable things in there that you could
oh
use. I mean,
Right.
oh
Wand of
You need
Enervation
to
is kind
keep
of
the
a
we've
wand
got
of
thing.
innovation and use it.
That's kind of a thing.
yeah
I'm
we've
not,
got an amulet of planes.
if you've
Guess
got
what?
something that increases wisdom, a headband, I don't have a headband item, so gimme.
Well, you only have one magical thing that affects a stat. So if you
Okay.
already have something that adds to wisdom, this won't add to that. You just get the better of the two.
You get the better of the two.
No, I don't have anything that adds to wisdom.
Oh, well,
Okay,
okay.
Fletcher or Flashheart, do either of you have a belt of something? And is it physical perfection +4?
Yeah, that belt of physical perfection +4 is an amazing item.
Because
I don't
that's
have it.
strength, con, and dex.
You get a +4 to all those. Now, it does mean that you're no longer affected by the spells like the bear's endurance and all that.
But you've got it all the time.
But you've got it all the time, so I'm just
Should,
letting people know you can't double dip. You can't.
I am wearing a belt of giant strength +4.
So you've got the strength part. You got the same thing. Storm has that too.
I'm interested.
It's a modified belt of strength +4. Um,
Cool.
the,
And you said the other
Flashheart, do
one
you have a
is
belt?
what's that?
Flashheart, do you have a belt?
Don't have a belt, no. I have a cloak and I got rings and shit, but I have no belt.
Do any of your rings or anything adjust your strength or anything?
Nope.
Yeah,
Most of
give
my
him the
stuff is
belt.
con or charisma. Okay. All right. So can somebody send me the like a description of this and I'll write it in my character sheet?
Belt of physical perfection +4.
Okay, I'll mark that down as Flashheart, and I'm marking the inspired wisdom for Lothar.
What is that called?
Headband of inspired wisdom +4.
wait, you
Nice.
guys
Thank you.
gave Flashheart something called physical perfection? Oh,
Yeah, how can you improve on my perfection?
he's going to be insufferable.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
he
have
was
like a
already
27 charisma
insufferable.
already.
Will that help your spell count, Chuck?
The sword of subtlety, is that the thing?
I
Shadow,
don't
is that
know
the thing
yet.
you were talking about that you said would be about beneficial to you?
What is it?
The sword of subtlety? Or do you already have?
I,
I can't
I
remember.
like it. I'm not going to use it much.
Okay, we'll hold off on that. So we've
Okay.
got an amulet of planes. So that realistically just gives you the ability to cast plane shift. Um, but it's the most overpriced item ever. This item is worth 120,000 gold pieces.
Right.
So we've got things we can trade. We've got holy water. We've got another. We've got almost 50 grand in like gems and jewelry. No, almost 60 grand. We've got 5,000 gold pieces of silver dust. We got bracers of armor, armor class 6, which is a good thing of armor.
Blockchain of perdition.
Yeah. So that's for either high dex fighters or wizards. Bracers of armor, armor class 6. We've got mantle of faith. Okay, that already went to Flashheart. A rod of security, a lyre of building. I've got the Sylvan Scimitar that went to Ferrado. Got a crossbow, +5 thunder, evil outside, Bane repeating crossbow. That's a massively powerful crossbow.
Couldn't Chuck or Jennifer have that? There are archers.
Like, what's massively
Well,
powerful? What does that mean
No.
exactly?
well, the bad thing is it's a crossbow, so you're limited to 1 attack per round.
Right.
Whereas if you're using bow, you can get the 5, 6, whatever we all end up with. So it's not, unless you're a specific archer that uses crossbows and has feats that allows you to.
Is it a one-handed weapon? Because Dan's got 3 hands, so
He's got 3. You can the
Shh.
Glabrezu arm can be holding the crossbow, and
yeah, the
then
Clabrazoo. I want to see a miniature of this,
Fletcher does not currently have a ranged attack, so
Oh, that'd be awesome.
so and then looking at the other thing, okay, we've got another almost 4. So we've got over 100 grand in either gems or coins, which is probably where all that extra strength is getting eaten up by Storm carrying all this stuff.
Ain't she carry 250,000 pounds now? How many coins is that? Let's do the
That's
math.
probably half the coins that we've got.
Hold on, let me
Um,
get my calculator.
yeah,
Um, so yeah, we've got money and we've got those items I just rattled off. So um Masterwork Elven Chain +2. Is that worse than what Gatto has?
Yeah, I don't need it.
Okay.
He's got powerful friends.
Yeah. What
I have
about
celestial armor, which gives me fly, and that's more important to me than
okay. Then
another
armor
plus
class.
one in my armor class.
So bracers of armor +6. I would say probably Bardos for this.
Yeah, I have mage armor with +4, so that would, yeah, I mean, I could.
This would give you an extra +2, and
stacked on it.
you'd have one more spell you could cast,
Yeah.
at stuff per day. So has anybody got any problems with me giving that to Bardos?
No.
No,
Okay. So Bardos, take that one.
+6, you
Um,
said, right?
it's +6, yes.
And that goes on arms, bracers.
Yep.
On your
From the forearms, yeah.
wrist, arm, forearm, whatever. Um,
yeah, on the sheet it's called arms wrist.
so looking at this, I can't see of anything else. I mean, the crossbow I would almost take, except for I got a really nice one given to me several levels ago that I think would still be a little bit, not much, but a little bit better than what this one is.
Have you
What
ever
is the
shot anybody with
crossbow?
that crossbow?
Yes.
Really?
Yep. I've only done it a few times because that's not really. I mean, when you consider we've got Storm and Fletcher at the front of our
Mm.
group, I mean, I'm kind of going to be like the little dude that was that pew pew, be back there,
Yep.
annoying
Flash arts,
people.
flash arts, no joke either. I mean, you guys got several people.
Whenever there's
And
evil stuff
Ferrado's
there,
been killing it.
yeah, whenever evil's up there, then
Yep.
yeah, Flash Heart's right up there with.
Wherever evil exists, Flashheart will be there.
So I don't see of anything else that really. The Wand of Innovation, who wanted that or needed that?
I would give that to Bardos.
That's a powerful spell.
It's
Okay,
a
Bardos, you've
powerful
got Wand
spell.
of Innovation, and it's got 7 charges left on it.
Okay.
Okay. Does anybody want the 500 gold piece Baphomet symbol? I mean,
No.
Baphomet's dead, so
I wanted to, yeah.
maybe
That's a
like in a
collector's
hundred
item.
years it'll be worth
Can we
something.
get that on eBay real quick? That's gonna pick up some big. They're not making any new of those, so.
Yeah, I doubt many more of these will be
Got
made.
Who
Gatto
said
might
that? That sounds really evil. Who said that?
Gatto and Fletcher might know somebody who would like it as a souvenir.
No, I say we melt it down.
That's funny. Robe of Scintillating Colors, what's that do? I haven't looked at that one yet.
Good question. I think it's got a daze effect to it. Here we go. So, Robe of Scintillating Colors causes the garment to display a shifting pattern of incredible hues cascading from the upper part of the robe to the hems. The colors daze those near the wearer, conceal the wearer, and illuminate the surroundings. It takes one full round for it to start flowing, but it creates the equivalent of a gaze attack at a 30-foot range.
Okay.
And then for every round of continuous scintillation of the robe gives the wearer better concealment. The miss chance on attacks against the wearer start at 10% and increases by 10% each round until it reaches 50% or total concealment. It also illuminates a 30-foot radius continuously. But it
But it can
can
only be used for 10 rounds a day.
10
So,
rounds a day.
and the days effect is kind of useless because the will DC is only 16. So
Mike,
anything
tell
that
me about that crossbow again.
the crossbow is a +5 thundering evil outsider bane. So it's like the equivalent of either a +6 or a +7 weapon. So
And the evil outsiders, demons fall under that
yes,
category.
Yeah, yeah. Hold on. Light or heavy crossbow?
I just have crossbow, so I assume it's light.
I believe it's a light crossbow, yes.
+5
Thundering evil
thundering
outsider.
evil bane.
Yeah. Oh, and it's repeating.
Pardon?
It's repeating.
Oh yeah, that's what I wanted to hear.
So that would be better for archer types because you still lose a round probably every 2 or 3 rounds to like reload everything, but
Um, if no one else claims it, I will take it.
going once,
Within
going twice.
What are the
within 30
pluses,
feet.
Mike? What are the pluses on it?
It's +5. So it's an incredible weapon. It's
I've
just
got I've got a
like I know Lothar,
+3.
his special one that ignores living tissue. Yeah, he couldn't compete. That's way more valuable to him than this would be, even though the plus on this is much better.
Well, plus it's the bow of a rastal, so I'm
Right.
not
So yeah,
giving it
that's
up.
yeah. I don't know what bow you have.
You should give it up.
I have the bow of Adelpash, which is a +3.
What else
But
does it do?
it gives me
Oh,
control.
Alderpash, yeah.
Yeah, winds and whatnot. I get some wind spells with it. But a +5 is
This would slow you down because, like I said, even it's repeating. Does that usually
even
mean
with
it has like a magazine or something?
It's got a magazine of
yeah
5 bolts.
So
yeah
basically, with as many times as you shoot around,
yeah
you would get to attack one round, and then you'd spend the next
yeah.
whole
It
round
makes
or
sense.
two
It makes sense.
reloading the
Yeah, I'm
magazine.
with you. I feel
So
you.
it would be better for someone who doesn't do this a lot,
That's a hell of a
like a
bow.
page type or just a partial martial character. So yeah,
Like a caravan guard.
if I didn't have something already that was pretty awesome, I would have jumped at getting this crossbow. But like I said, I've already got one that is for me, it's about as good as this one. It doesn't have as much pluses as this one, but it's holy and it's cold as opposed to thunder and evil outsider bane. And mine's only +3. This is +5. So this is a little bit better than mine, but not enough that I mean, if this makes a big deal to someone like Gatto, then I'd rather him have it.
I'm in support, full support.
What?
I'm in full support.
Okay, Gatto, put it down.
You can reload it by pulling the reloading lever, which is a free action.
Right,
So I
and
can
that's
shoot
that's
multiple
so you can
times in a
fire
round.
multiple times, but then it's probably like a full round action or something to
The magazine.
replace
Hmm.
the magazine.
I believe that's correct. It is a full round action.
So for one round, you're pretty dang nasty with this thing.
For one round, if I'm in the position where I'm doing sneak attack, as long as I'm within 30 feet,
Then yeah, you could murder the crap out of someone with
I
this.
can really do some damage.
Yes.
Hmm.
And then you just hide for a round, reload it while you're hiding, and then you come back out and do it again.
Okay, I'm loading up on bolts.
Yes. Um, and like I said, there's nothing really combat wise. I mean, there's +4 half plate. That's kind of a junk armor. It's +4, so it's nice, but it's half. That's like the worst of all the heavy armors. The +4 speed battle axe, you'd really have to be feeded out to use this, and I can't imagine. I'm sure Fletcher's feeded out to use his greatsword or whatever it is he's got. And I don't know of anybody else. Yeah, Flashheart's not going to give up uh, the sword,
Radiance.
Radiance. So,
Yeah,
like I said,
we're
this
both
is
happy with our
another great
choice.
weapon. It's just not, doesn't it's not useful for any of us.
Right.
So I think that's pretty much it. The rest of it I'll convert to money. And then I'm going to weight it a little bit based on who took what, but I'll figure out the end and divvy this out. But it won't be tonight.
Hmm.
Okey-doke.
Cool.
So right now for um, things for Queen Galfrey, I've only got 4 scrolls of dimensional lock and a wand of restoration. Does anyone else, can anyone else think of anything else? That's a
No.
small
I want some
level.
potions of repel vermin in case I'm away from Jennifer.
Okay, potions of repel vermin. Okay, so if no one say anything, so less
Yep.
our important things we like are the 4 scrolls of dimensional lock and the wand of restoration.
Okay.
Our secondary items are any potions of heroism or greater heroism or potions of repel vermin.
Okay.
Those
All
are
right. All right. So she comes up with the 4 scrolls of dimensional lock.
okay.
She also comes up with the wand, but it's not a brand new wand. It has, hold please. It has 11 charges on it.
Okay.
Okay. She also was able to find 3 potions of heroism and 4 potions of repel vermin.
I got something
Ooh.
too, Les.
What do you got?
If they have any higher level pearls of power, that would help any of us to be able to cast more spells.
Pearls of power. Okay, hold on. Let me see what that is.
Great idea. I always forget about those things.
Okay.
Okay.
Scott, can you go ahead and put the wand of restoration with 11 charges on Lothar's character sheet?
Yeah, I got it.
Okay, I'll take that one off the list.
Ooh. All right. She has found a pearl of power. It is a 6th level one. Once per day on command, a pearl of power enables the possessor to recall any one spell she has cast for the day. The spell is then prepared. The spell must be of a particular level. So she found one, but it's for 6th level spells.
I'm a spontaneous caster, so it doesn't work for me. So I would say probably Bardos. Either Bardos or Lothar are the two that would
Yeah,
I've got
benefit.
some pretty good
you got
6th level
some.
spells
What
too,
are your
but
six? My 6th level spells are not real important, so that I would probably
Well, it
pass
can
that
be
on.
6th or lower.
It could be lower. Yeah, it could be lower spells. It's up to 6.
I've got Dispel Magic Greater in 6th, Repel Vermin in 6th, Greater
Yeah, how
Black
about
Tentacles in 6th.
Lothar? How about you?
I would say give it to Ferrado.
Okay, so that'll give you 1 extra spell over every time.
That's just a one-shot use, right?
Per day.
Every day.
Oh,
When you
per day.
memorize spells, you can pick an extra spell basically every time
Okay.
you memorize spell.
Okay. That's a big deal.
Hmm.
And I'm more than willing. Is that something you can share? Like we can share it among the group too, right?
Yeah, anybody can use it. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's only
So
gonna
if
work
we
for
have
one
another,
person per day,
somebody else
though.
has a 6th level spell that makes more sense, I'm more than willing to share it.
It has to be on you when you prepare spells, though, to work
Okay.
for you.
All right.
Okay.
So we can't pass around 3
Hmm.
times in one day and all of us get an extra spell.
Sure, I get that. I just meant, if
Okay.
we're preparing and somebody's got an
Right.
advantage.
Yeah, we could at different days pass it around, but um okay. I've got the potions repel vermin. Um Do we want to give those to each melee person? So like Gatto, uh, Flashheart, Fletcher, and then
What did I just get?
a
Nothing
potion
yet.
of Repel Vermin,
Okay.
and then I'll get the fourth one to Lothar.
So I get one potion.
Yep. Now the four people have them, so we can share them around. But
I have all four.
no,
He does now.
Not yet.
like you thought you gave it to three other people, but at the end of the day, I've got them all. Okay, so you guys wrote those down. I'm taking that off the list. The heroism I'll hang on to because we're probably just going to use these for the ritual, or maybe a fight. We'll see. And then the dimensional lock I'll hang on to just because, yeah, that won't be an emergency. That'll be, hey, this is one of those areas that we need to dimensional lock, and then we'll
How
cast
many
it.
did you get, Mike? How many do we have of those?
Well, we got four of them, so we got all of them that we need.
Can I have one?
He said it innocently.
The
Yeah.
reason I ask is if we get in a position where we're going to be in combat in an area where we need to cast it, you guys can take care of that while I cast the spell.
He does.
That's why I was having me do it because, like I said, when it comes to characters, the usefulness of my character is not Illandar, it's Storm.
Okay.
I'm usually relinquished to a gimped, support caster.
Okay.
So there's a lot of rounds in combats that I'm like, okay, next.
But you're our favorite Gimp support caster.
Yes. I gimp support cast with the best of them.
Okay.
I'll give you one. I've already marked it off there, so write one down.
Written down.
And I'm loving doing this. I'm deleting from Party Booty our second, which I think Lothar probably had on his character sheet, but I'm deleting the second Raised Dead or Resurrection Diamond that we've been carrying around for a while because we used it.
Yep.
We still have one,
What a
or like
waste.
if need be.
What a
Yeah, we-
waste.
Well, we did have one until Gatto found out.
We still have more than that
So,
because I've used my money to buy some too.
oh, have you? Okay.
I just didn't advertise it, and I keep them right next to my scrotum so that Gato will stay the fuck away from them.
Talk about family jewels.
Might
what
just
I
it might
said,
just
but
sweeten
I'm
the
just gonna
deal.
let- I have questions,
Ups
but I'm
the
just gonna
challenge.
walk away from it.
I
Okay.
can only hope if he chooses to steal them, the only resurrection that will be needed is his, and I won't have the diamonds.
Oh, sorry. We're fresh out. Okay.
All right.
That's all I had. So with that, I think we're good to go. Take us on to tomorrow morning.
Okay.
Looking forward to this conversation.
You guys
Wait,
rest. Oh, go ahead.
I was just gonna say that I was gonna check in with the boss before we head back out. Talk to Amadeus, her most recent herald. This might be it for us, but I'm gonna do my best for the team. So, just want to say if she has any final words. Win one for the Gipper kind of inspiration.
Well, she's not much for showing up, but she does show up to you on sort of in a vision. You're not always, it's all, how deities are. It's always like
Right.
in visions. They never show up personally. But
I was
yeah,
just enjoying my dream, watching my sky whale, thinking about all the things I couldn't get away with as a paladin, and boom, she
Sitting
shows
on
up.
a-
Oh man,
Yeah. She's
ruining
sitting on
it,
the beach with like
ruining
Desna.
it.
They both have the little cocktails with the umbrellas, and she's like just, zooming you.
there's like
Hey,
a succubi trying to lure me in. I'm like, no, no, I can't. I'm too holy. No, I can't. I'm a paladin. And then she shows up. Oh, sorry. I was just
Oh,
being tempted in my dreams. Thanks for showing up, boss. What's
like
up?
that when Dan Aykroyd in Ghostbusters 1.
Exactly. Exactly.
All right, so she does show up, and she's like, of all my servants, you are my favorite, and I know that you will succeed tomorrow, in this, because you know that you have no other choice but to succeed. You must succeed for the overall safety to end this crusade and the safety of Galarian itself. So I have faith in you because you have faith in you and you must succeed. Which
Okay.
as a pep talk is really crappy, but she's like, I gotta go. I got a lot of other people. I got a lot of other heralds to see
Yeah.
tonight.
I
So
got somebody else online too. I got.
yeah, it's a busy night for heralds. I got to talk to a bunch of people. But yeah, basically she comes to you and basically says, you are blessed of the gods, and as are all of your people except for maybe Fletcher. Um, and I know, she goes, I cannot see the future, but I know in my heart that you guys will succeed,
I
that
feel
you
like
will succeed.
I appreciate it. Thank you, Almighty Iomade. I'll do my best and come back in glory around my shield, or more likely, fall into the pit and come back as a dark paladin.
Come back with lots of.
She's like, I've already lost one herald of these fuckers. Don't do that same thing. Do not
Side
screw
note,
it up. Don't
I
screw
just
this up.
all right. Don't screw this up. That's the other thing. The, by the way, I think Dan would do good, or Fletcher would do great with like Crom as his deity. Like, count the dead, Crom.
Yeah.
That part of Conan.
Count the dead.
Yeah. And
Count the dead.
what was the other line? It's like, if you choose to help me, fine. If you don't, then fuck you,
Fuck.
or something.
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
something like that.
Yeah. Uh,
In a nice Austrian
I,
accent.
No,
I'm
that's
like,
right. It's, and if you don't, to hell with you.
yeah, I'm thinking that would make a good HBO like a short series of a Game of Thrones type of thing. I think it'd do a good Conan, because those books go on forever.
Well,
I
it's
haven't
because it's
heard.
like they're like Nancy Drews in that there are 7,000 authors, different authors that do it.
Oh, I guess I'm thinking it was Edgar Rice Burroughs originally, though, right?
No, Robert E.
Conan
Howard.
Doyle?
Robert E. Howard, yeah.
Robert E. Howard. I'm thinking of Tarzan as Edward Rice Burroughs, right?
Yeah, those
You-
went on forever.
Second side note: when I was 13, I got like 45 volumes of the Gore series. Anybody read Gore?
Ooh, that'll set you on the path to adventure, won't it?
Yes, it will. I read all of them in like one summer.
So I haven't heard Les say this yet, but I assume that Les, you're wanting us to update hit points, and that's why our characters are on this sheet.
I do, yes. So, based on your new level, your 17th level, I want you to update your hit points and ACs if you put them in there and that kind of stuff.
Oh yeah, AC.
Second. All right. So,
Any
yeah, but
answers?
if you could
Hey,
update you're on there. Gato's on there.
Just on my
Les, did you
character.
catch
Okay.
my email about hit points and whatnot?
I did not. Hold on a second.
It doesn't really matter, but you can modify at will.
Do you
I'm not.
want me to roll it for you?
Well, I rolled two. I just wasn't sure. Everything's kind of a mess when you
You're
well, for
I
when
had
you
trouble
bless
downloading the thing.
Corrado. I just wasn't quite sure how to modify stuff, to be honest with you. I got 10 additional points because I had to roll 2 levels.
Okay.
But anyway, just look at it at some point and tell me if you think it's good. I'll just use what I have for now, and I'm fine with that.
All right. Sounds good. Sounds good. But I will take a look at that.
Eric, you look like you're about to perform your one-man show of the Blair Witch.
Oh, sorry.
You got the light below you. You got the beanie hat on. Like,
Yeah.
ready to go Blair Witch.
I was actually just checking text. I'm trying to not be distracting. I am enjoying this episode. It's I'm on the edge of my chair.
So if you fall off, we'll know what happened.
Well, so let me know when everybody's got their current hit points in their thing.
Yeah, I'm
Mine's
good.
All good? Anybody still need a minute?
No, I'm still doing it. Good. Should our 8 armor classes have changed just by leveling up? Because
No,
my
No.
okay,
No.
cool. Then we're good.
Unless you had like
unless the
a
stat went up or
yeah, a dex like an ability like your
Well,
dex went
Like
up.
those of us got
that's
belts
all
and
kind of
stuff.
modified by you, Les. So I'll just leave it alone. We're good.
Okay. Cool. All right. So you guys obviously passed the night in safety, but a lot going on. When the next morning, Golfrey returns with the items that you asked for and delivers them to you, and says, "I had to. I had. I've." And she's obviously weary. She's basically while you guys were sleeping, she was scouring the front lines of the world, where her resources. She even flew back. She even teleported back to her capital to see what was available. She scoured far and wide, but she was able to bring all of the things that you needed as best she could. She knows that time is of the essence. She also knows that there's about 36 hours left before before the world war goes kaflooey. And so she's like, whatever you guys are gonna do, it's now or never. She also tells you that she's essentially sending orders to her guys to her armies across the southern edge of the Worldwound to basically say hold your ground. Do not start any battles. Do not withdraw patrols and that kind of stuff and see what happens. She's basically putting a 36-hour hiatus on any aggressive maneuvering on the part of her guys because she'll say flat out she's hedging her bets. If you guys fail, she doesn't want her guys to get caught on the opposite side of the line
right.
and destroyed. So she's pulling she's not retreating, but she's pulling back all of her forward observers, all of her patrols, all of her scouting and recon units, and pulling them all back to the line so that they're behind Crusader lines, so that whatever happens tomorrow, she says, um, I have a feeling that we'll know immediately. We'll know right away whether you guys have failed or succeeded. So, I want to make sure that my guys, if you do fail, that my guys are not caught looking. So the word's gone out. Now I've also alerted the commanders that something big. I haven't told them what's going to happen, but I've told them to keep their eyes out for something big to happen sometime tomorrow. In the meantime, you've gotten a full night's rest, plus the ministrations of all of the medical staff, the dwarvish medical staff, who are well known for their tough love capabilities.
Pretty much, yeah.
Uh, and they just it's like your old coach is just you got a dwarf in armor just going, just walk it off, you'll be fine. Um,
My arm's off.
Rub some dirt on it.
rub some dirt on it. Here's some mercurochrome. Just smear a bunch of this on it. But so Golfrey's like, look, I have to tend to the remainder of my armies. She's like, look, I know anything that I say to you will not affect the outcome, but you have every bit of luck that I can give to you in this. You've exceeded my expectations at every turn, and I hope you continue to do so. In a day and a half, when all this is over, I'll see you again in Dresden.
Very
And she
well.
leave. It,
I accept your marriage invitation. I did,
uh,
I'm a holy
uh,
man, but I think it's for the good of the people.
yeah,
It's for the good of people.
it's for the good of the homies.
It's a
Um,
it's a diplomacy
yeah.
marriage.
it's a marriage of diplomacy.
Yep.
Nice. I like that.
All right.
All right. So the next day, well, it's already the next day, but you've talked to thing. You've got some time to get a quick breakfast, and then you're like, we have to head back. So,
No, we went
um,
back to Terendelev.
well, that's right. So Terendelev, the woman from the altar from the previous day, is still in human form, but obviously she's now dressed. She's wearing armor. She looks much more, what's the word? Militant's the wrong word, but martial, I guess. She is not in dragon form, largely because your guess is that these buildings are not really suitable for dragons to be wandering around in.
No.
So she is retaining her human form, but she comes
Okay,
down.
okay, okay. I'll marry her.
You're already spoken for,
So
Mr.
many
Gatto,
sacrifices.
aren't you? Uh,
Yeah, I think that should be like 3 dragon slabs right there.
What is this, Shrek? The jackass goes with the dragon? That's not right.
what is this, Shrek?
Wait, wait, hey!
But before all this, not that it matters, before all this at dawn, I'll do my prayers and stuff and get everything ready.
Yeah, remember these lands aren't going to repopulate themselves. You all have to sacrifice. Start
Work,
having
work,
kids.
work, work, work.
Ilendar, to your eyes, it looks like Terendelev has overcome a lot of the initial confusion and disorientation that comes with being returned, especially after a long period. Keep in mind, she had been not only dead for over a year, but also changed into a creature and under Karamzada's sort of control. And, that takes a toll. She doesn't look fatigued or anything, but there's a when you look at her, she's obvious. You only need to look at her for a moment to understand very quickly on a visceral level that this is not a human that you're talking to. The eyes are different. The face is different. And although the shape is human like, you immediately realize that this is not a human being. The eyes look ancient. And in this sort of youthful face, there's a bit of it's an odd sort of conundrum. It's like seeing cat's eyes in a baby, that kind of thing. But she comes down and she sits next to you. She moves very stately, unlike the sort of staggering around a bit that she did. And she comes directly to Ilendar and says, "Ilendar, I must thank you for bringing me back and saving me from a continued horrifying existence under the thumb of Karamzada. I owe you more than what I will certainly be able to pay back." And she looks around and she goes, "And that goes for all of you. You saved me from an existence that was both horrifying and a debasement. And the fact that I could have gone for centuries under the claw of that creature, um, and that you saved me from that, is more than I can ever repay you." She sort of pauses for a moment and then she says, "Look, there's nothing I would desire more to accompany you in battle. I would love to go in and fight Karamzada again.
But
I
I'm
would
an
want to
NPC.
but I'm an NPC and I can't do that because that sort of ruins the story." No, what she basically, well, here's the reasoning. Basically, she's still very weak from the return. She's like, "Look, if I joined you in battle against these creatures, the likelihood is that I would be defeated again, and that would be problematic for you guys as well." She's like, "But what I can do is tell you what little I recall about the guardians of Threshold." And she says the way Threshold is set, it's essentially attached to the wall of the largest rift in the Worldwound, and it's from that area that this all is. It's quite a bit down into the rift too. Um, it's down there. It's the starting point of where the thing is. She's like, "I've been there before. It is essentially the entrance to it is at the top. You have to when you go into the top and then you go down into the thing and the World Wound room, which I have never seen, but I've been given to understand based on what I've learned when I was there, is that it's at or near the bottom of that fortress, which means you have to go down through the fortress. Um, the roof of the fortress, the entrance, is guarded by Raspers. These are archpriests of Deskari who essentially ride dragons, my kind, and they have dragon slaves. There are likely a number of dragons on top. If it's true that Karamzada, and I can't imagine it's not be true, but from what you briefed the council yesterday, but basically um, if Karamzada is aware that your ultimate goal is to try and close the world wound, those dragons will absolutely be on top of that. There will be dragons, and I mean that in the plural. Plus priests of archclerics of Deskari. They're called Raspers, and there are many that live, worship, and defend that particular tower. Now, she says, what I might be able to do is draw Karamzada out of the tower and let the dragons or the Raspers give chase. So she sort of sketches out the outline of a plan. Basically, what she's saying is that she accompanies you guys back to the tower. She um, taunts Karamzada to try and draw him out, and then tries to escape, leading away as many of the Raspers and their dragon mounts as she can to sort of give them chase. She's like, I have no doubt that I can outrun them and get them away from there, and that might buy you the time that you need to defeat Karamzada and enter the tower.
That sounds like a great plan because I'm not looking forward to fighting him alone. I definitely wouldn't look forward to fighting him with, an army of dragons behind him.
Great help.
Just so I know you want somebody to keep score on this list. That was 13 mentions of dragons you just made between you and.
Shut
Oh, did
up!
13?
So that's why I will.
Ow.
No, I won't do all 13.
Save some for later.
I'll save some for a rainy day, a rainy dragon day.
So as Terendelev looks with her eyebrow like cocked up and she starts to ask, I just say, don't ask, just don't go there.
But yeah, so she basically says, look, I can accompany you and I can act as a diversion. I can do that. What I can't probably do is help you destroy them, but I can lead some of them away.
That would be awesome.
The thing is, though, if I taunt Terendelev or Karamzada, the likelihood so she will tell you he is not a creature of willpower. If I taunt him, he will come forth and he will want to destroy me once again, and he will and bring me back under his power. He will come forth. What I can do is bring him forth, draw off the dragons, but then Karamzada will almost certainly, upon seeing you, try to destroy you.
That's good. We've got a Storm and a Fletcher and a Flash Art, so.
And it is one of the things that you're supposed to do for to
Bonuses.
yeah, for the bonus. Karamzad is actually kind of a big one. I think it's plus
10.
6.
It's
Is it
10.
10? I think it's
Oh,
6.
Crom's is 6. Crom's is 6.
Yeah, Karamzad is 6.
Is 10.
Yeah. So is that the plan, you guys? I mean, does that sound like a good plan?
Sounds like a help.
Better than any full frontal
It
assault.
sounds like our plan.
Yeah.
All right. Well, she's like, look, I need to, prepare myself, and I'll be ready in a couple hours. And then we will. So here's a DM question for you. How are you guys planning on getting back there? Are you planning to travel all the way to like fly all the way there, or are you going to teleport there?
We're gonna teleport. At least teleport close to it, and then none of us have been there, so we can't teleport directly to there.
That's a good point.
And do we know, are there any limits? Well, we'll ask Terendelev. Does she know of any like teleportation limits in or around the city or around that fortress?
She doesn't remember there to be any. Obviously, the proximity to the world wound affects teleports. But there it hasn't I mean I mentioned as a DM earlier that there is some teleport problems inside the inside threshold, but in the city, no, it's there's nothing obvious. If you're in a rift, there might be a problem, but you should be able to teleport. The problem is you guys, I mean, I think that you pointed out, Mike, is that you only know a few places here.
We don't know anything that close. But we've seen things up in that middle area where Karamzada's palace is.
Yep.
We've seen areas there, so I know Bardos and I could probably, especially since we've both got greater teleport, we could teleport to anywhere in there that we've seen before without a problem. So I think we'd probably want to teleport, and we could take Terendelev with us, somewhere close to where we're going.
Well,
And
you would be very familiar with both the Soul Foundry and the Yearning House.
right. And then probably just looking across, we've seen areas. Because like I said, for greater teleport, you just have to have seen the place before.
No,
When
you
we
don't
were
even have to
Soul
see it.
Foundry,
You
we're
just
probably looking at
you
all
have to have
kinds.
a good description. Greater teleport, you don't have to have seen it. It's
So basically, I'd like to teleport to basically right
Oh
about.
yeah, greater teleport. Spell functions like teleport. No range limit. No chance you arrive off target.
So
You
yeah,
need
this
not
area
have
right
seen the
here.
destination.
So basically, right,
Right
right
about
above
there.
the rift where the palace, not the palace, but the fortress is like onto
Hmm.
the. It's kind of like clinging to the wall, right?
It's clinging to the wall, and it's about, I want to say, probably 400 to 500 feet down from the surface of the city into
Right.
the
So
rift.
if we can just teleport to the top, just like right there,
Hmm.
we can literally just teleport there, jump on storm like we usually do, and then I mean,
Well,
actually,
where do you want? Well, so
it,
where do you want to?
actually, right at the top before we go down in there is probably where we want to fight in just a city street or some open area,
That's where you want to draw up Karamzada?
right? Because we don't want to take a chance of other people inside the fortress coming out to help him.
Okay.
And you said that as we were here last time that there wasn't a ton of monsters and stuff in the city, right? It was
There's not, yeah, so for a couple of reasons. One, most of the legions of the demons are out fighting, and that means that they're largely they're on this border, so at the Selin River border, which is where a lot of the Worldwound basically is taking place. All those battles, right? So you guys are up here. Dresden's way up here. And so you guys are way up here, but a lot of the battles are sort of surrounding. It's imagine the front line of the Fifth Crusade as being like a large cup that's holding the demons in the world wound and trying to do that. So some places are cuppier than others, but that's basically the shape of it. So um, you know, most of the demons in Is are out there fighting those battles, right? Nobody, is more of a place where leadership hangs out, and a few, obviously the Soul Foundry guys are busily with manufacturing of stuff. So they're here. There are demons that live here, but you'll recall from when you first came to this place, you'll remember that a lot of those demons have had, by proximity to the world wound, has twisted them a little bit, right? The continued exposure to the radiation that Lothar's planar adaptation is protecting you from has mutated them somewhat. So a lot of them that you've run across in the city, those that you've seen, are kind of messed up.
okay.
Which means that's another reason why, the leaders want all the demons to be out fighting. The demons don't want to be in the city unless they have to.
Okay.
Les, what was the acid rain that Karamzada had hitting where we were at before? Was it acid?
It was, yeah. It was a spell that he does, called, um,
Acid
So we
rain.
might
not acid rain, no, but I'll
we
tell you
might
here.
want to try to be inside then if we can, rather than letting it hit us with that spell again.
I've got one spell, communal, that can give us all DR 30 acid,
Okay. That's
Well, and
so it is acid less. That's
before we leave, I'm going to cast planar adaptation.
which that'll give us DR to one element. Although I
Right.
think we should be immune to fire too.
Okay. So I can, with planar adaptation, I can give us one element. So just
I
pick which
would
one
I would
you
do
want.
fire,
Okay.
and then so I'll have multiple casts of the protection or the resistance that gives us DR 30. So I can do that like once per combat, or at least in the tough combats.
So that spell, Gordon, is called Storm of Vengeance.
okay. Do I know what that is? Can I look it up?
Yeah, I mean, basically, you create a huge black storm in the air. Every creature under the cloud has to succeed on a fortitude save or be deafened. The second round, acid rain drops down. The third round, 6 bolts of lightning, hailstones, and then violent rain and wind. He basically sent that out over the top of the Soul Foundry while you guys were in it.
So it's not just acid; it's all
There's a
kinds of.
whole, yeah, lightning and acid and wind and all kinds of stuff.
Weren't we all told in the 80s that acid rain was going to destroy all of civilization by the mid 2000s?
Yes, we
Yes.
were. And you know why you don't hear about it anymore? Because Illinois can't sell its sulfur-rich coal anymore. It was Illinois that was doing that to Pennsylvania.
Right.
Oh,
So we were burning our coal, which we mined for a century here in southern Illinois, is full of sulfur. And if you burn it, it goes as sulfur dioxide into the atmosphere, where it combines with water molecules to become sulfuric acid.
right. So
It's just a fun little chemical experiment.
that was a fun chemical
Yes.
experiment.
But yeah, we don't do that anymore here in Illinois.
We technically
Man,
do, but we clean the coal first.
No, we have clean coal because we pretend to bury it in the ground.
In the scrubbers, yeah, we try and separate the
No,
sulfur. That's a neat
we
trick.
work in the power plant. Yeah, they rinse and clean the coal, clean all of it out, so it's just pure coal. Still coal, but it doesn't have all the
Doesn't have
did
all
junk.
the
you
And it
know
sulfur in it.
also loses a
the
lot of
big
its BT.
all the building a third of the buildings in New York at any given time are covered in scaffolding because they're repairing acid rain damage to the marbles and whatnot. But,
No kidding.
yeah, that's what all those scaffoldings are for.
I thought they were
Replacing
just, cleaning windows and shit.
Yeah,
No, you don't put up scaffolding to clean
they're just trying to keep you from
windows at least.
having a gargoyle drop on your half-eaten gargoyle dropping on your head on Second Avenue or whatever.
Nice. All right, but yeah, so you guys are thinking of
just right at the top, so she can like look over the edge and like call him out, and then have him come up here, and then
so like right there. Oh, wait. I'm on the wrong thing. How? So like right about there.
yeah, just what does everybody think? I think if we do that, there's not a lot of monsters around there,
Yeah.
and we're out of direct line of sight from the fortress, so I think it would be harder.
Well, the likelihood is that Karamzad is not in his palace. He's probably
Yeah,
in the
yeah,
fortress because Arilu
yeah,
Vorlesh.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, they figure you guys are coming back. They just don't know when, and they're hoping they can run out the clock. But they basically said, they're paying attention.
Right. No, I figured we were going to the fortress to get him and not to his palace.
Right.
So that's what I'm saying. If we go to the top, she can like stick her head over the edge or whatever to call him out, but
Mhm.
then make him come up and over the top, so we fight him not in visual range of the fortress.
Okay. So yeah, she could probably do that. She thinks that would be doable.
And then once we if we die, then we don't care. If we don't, we kill him. Then we just, go over the edge and go down and start our descent into the fortress.
All right. So your first fight, you want it to be Karamzada. I think that's fantastic.
And before we leave, I'll cast planar adaptation and make us resistant to fire.
Before I leave, I'll say my goodbye as a scout, my Skyway, to make sure that Sky Whale knows that Daddy loves him. But I'll be back if I can.
I'm going to give
All right.
Arushale notice she might be called upon.
Okay. All right, cool. All right. So, that being the case, you guys, Terendelev, prepares herself, and, she's like, I will change into, dragon, my dragon form when we get there
Yeah.
to make things easy.
Chuck, what was your planar adaptation? Which energy?
Fire.
Oh my God, thanks.
And you get resistance 20.
So I've got a question for you. How are you going to be carrying the dretch, the suture?
Um,
Well, you told us we could put it in the bag of holding, right? And
Bag
it
of
would
holding.
last
No, there
the
was
day.
about
Out of the hole.
oxygen that
Strap it to
suffocate.
Storm. That dragon can carry anything.
Can't we have a
Yeah.
little cage for something for it?
Yeah, we could tie the thing to the back of Storm, and then yeah, because Storm already has straps around it to basically have the two saddles up top. So there's straps all over. You just tie to those and tie the thing up.
I know he could suffocate, but what if we don't we have some sort of way to like a turn to stone spell or something like that? We could just freeze him up so he won't suffocate in the
Well, he'll
bag of
last
holding.
for about a day and a half in there sealed up. And all you got to do really is open up the bag for a couple of minutes and let the air circulate to restart that clock. So it should be okay.
Throw some squeaky toys in for him, a little some treats and
He can stay in there as long as we have Gato to open all these locked doors. But if Gato
There are
bails,
no locked doors.
then we'll need him to like touch the doors so they open.
Okay. All right. So is that pretty, I mean, you guys pretty ready?
Yeah.
let's do
Ready
it,
as we'll ever
baby.
be.
Okay. All
45 minutes till midnight, but
yeah, we probably won't finish this battle tonight. But all right. So all right. So you guys you get with Terendelev comes forward and basically hold on, let me do this. All right. And you guys prepare yourselves as you get to ready to go. And you're using greater teleport to get to there?
Yep.
All right.
You doing that,
Um,
Mike? Or-
I was gonna say, Bardo, do you want to do it or do you want me to do it?
I've got one scroll, so I'll use the scroll. Burn that.
Actually, save your scroll. I'll use one of mine since I don't have it.
Okay.
So I'll cast a spell.
Okay. Hold on one second. All right. I'm gonna just use her human form. I'll just make it bigger when she changes into the thing. So all right. So greater greater teleport.
Yep. So I've cast
Boom.
that.
All right. So you find yourself from the pleasant courtyard outside of Citadel Dresden. You find yourself back into this horrible city. And if anything, it has gotten more horrible. As you kind of look around, you see a couple of things. One, the first and obvious thing that you see is just the area that you've landed in, that green circle, you look over at Karamzada's palace, and it looks like Karamzada's palace has been exploded from inside. It is not a palace anymore. It's a giant pile of undifferentiated rubble in which you can see big pieces of the huge stone things because it was a huge tower, probably 15, 20 stories and the thing with a big beacon light that looked over the entire city. It's destroyed now. Right now, it's like a 5-story pile of rubble. It looks like it just collapsed. But even as you look past it, you can see that to the northeast of Karamzada's palace, where the Soul Foundry used to be,
Uh-huh.
that whole area of the city is gone.
Wow.
And you're not sure if it's things, but that's basically now a giant hole where that used to be. Your guess is that Karamzada's fury was so much that he destroyed both his own palace and a huge portion of the city. Now, you guys will remember that it was already what's the word I'm looking at? It was already damaged because pieces of that cliff kept
Oh yeah, we
falling
were
off.
losing stuff as we were fighting.
Right, but now there's a huge, enormous sort of area that includes where the Soul Foundry was, but includes a fair amount behind it, where that has just fallen into this rift now right here extends all the way around here. So there's like this big balloon area here that is now rift in the same sense that this is rift. It's
Ooh,
almost made this an island
An island, yeah.
in the city,
Wow.
whereas the rest of the rifty is surrounded by rifts.
Somebody had a temper tantrum.
Yeah.
Mhm. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and move you to here. All right, you guys see that?
As far as you know.
All right,
Mhm.
this area is essentially the area. You guys are up in the upper right-hand corner if you don't see it, but essentially this is an area that is near the cliff. You've landed about probably 100 feet from the edge of the cliffs, and so the cliff itself is sort of off the bottom left of the page, sort of in
Okay.
that area. So you can't see the cliff on this map. But you can certainly uh,
It's
you
not too
can't see it
far.
on this map, but it's not too far, and you can certainly feel it. Uh, have any of you ever been to the Grand Canyon?
Yeah.
You know that shitty, sickening feeling that you get in the parking lot of the Grand Canyon when you begin moving forward to it, and there's that your feet begin to have that indication that they like to want to pitch you into it. That kind of feeling. That I don't know. Maybe I'm the only one that gets it.
No,
I
that
have
might
that
just be you,
feeling.
Les, but
Yeah.
still, we get it.
Okay. You could feel the power of that rift and the size of that rift from where you are. It dwarfs you from standing, even as big as you guys are. At this point, Terendelev steps out in front and transforms into the Terendelev that you remember, an enormous silver dragon, noble of visage, gigantic, and she turns in dragon form. She turns to look at you and says, "Again, you have my thanks. If if we are unsuccessful, perhaps we will find each other again in Pharasma's care. If we are successful, I will see you at the Citadel." And she hooks her wings back and takes off up into the air. She goes up and begins circling around, and you hear this huge voice go, "Karamzada, Karamzada, I have come back to take my revenge. It is I, Terendelev. Come forth, creature of the pit," and a bunch of like insults and shit like that. You also see a couple of dragons and with riders on them come popping out of the rift and start flying around. You could tell, at least at this distance, that they're a little trepidatious of going directly at a huge silver dragon that looks like it knows what it's about. But and you can see a couple of them, and they're sort of like swooping around and kind of like staying out of breath weapon range and that kind of thing. And you could and Terendelev continues to yell, "Karamzada, Karamzada, come forth!" And finally, you hear this enormous roar, like a lion's roar, but louder than anything. I mean, literally, the stones under your feet are shaking because of the noise of this thing.
Okay.
And then you
So, hey,
see,
Les,
yeah,
while this is going on,
hmm
I've got a few spells that just don't have a huge time frame that once I
okay,
hear him acknowledge this, I'm going to cast a few spells that I'm hitting everybody with.
okay.
So go ahead and finish your thing, but I'm just letting you know I've started this casting right now. So
All right, what spells are you talking about doing?
I'm hitting everyone with protection from evil.
Okay, probably useless here.
I'm hitting everyone with stone skin.
Okay,
Um, and then I'm going to hold and prepare that as soon as I see um, Karamzada, then I'm going to let loose a haste on everyone. So
okay,
those three spells are everyone's going to be hit with. Two of them right now as a start. The haste I'm going to hold until,
because it's rounds.
yeah, I actually see him, come up over and come at us.
Okay. So eventually you hear this enormous roar, and there can be no question that this is Karamzada. Karamzada has come out. At this point, you hear in your minds via telepathy the voice of Terendelev saying, "Again, good luck." And at that point, Terendelev flaps her wings, flies straight up in the air, and then swoops down and begins heading north, away from the city, along the edge of the rift. And those two, and there's like two or three of these riding dragons kind of swoop down, and as you see her take off, they begin to give chase. At that time, at moment you see levitating out of the rift this enormous set of horns is the first thing you see. Just an enormous set of horns slowly rising out of the rift. You out, Eric? We'll see you later.
Good night. Take care.
All right.
Right.
Thanks for joining us, man.
Eric.
Bye bye.
I let out just a tiny bit of holy pee when I see this.
And then two huge glowing eyes just sort of like kind of come up over the edge of the thing. And soon you see Karamzada. Karamzada is rising up out of the rift, and you can see him, and he's got, well, I'll just put him out there. You can take a look at him. Can you see him?
Yeah.
Yep. No, wait.
Hold
No.
He's
I
down
don't see
lower
him yet.
Oh, okay, there he is.
lower corner.
Okay.
Oh,
So
Option
I'm using, so I don't know if you guys are going to be in the air. So I'm using a isometric map, but what you see, just so you know, what you see in the terrain is sort of it's rubble. There are portions of that are difficult terrain if you stay on the ground, but I wanted to give everybody the option because I know that sometimes storm flies and things like that nature. So he just lifts off and he's looking, you see him looking over at Terendelev, and then he looks at you and he smiles, a horrifying smile. And this is what he looks like. Well, that's not as helpful as I thought it would be. But you could see that he's just, I mean, the classic, yeah, exactly.
That
The
was so
classic,
funny.
that was,
Like,
I thought it
like
was going to be very
underwhelming.
dramatic,
Like,
but, you know,
when you see my mighty hammer, oh, this little thing.
yeah. Well, no, he's so the classic sort of Balor stuff, right? Only all of you who have ever studied Balor, he's much larger than any Balor you've ever heard on. But he has that sort of flaming whip kind of thing, and in the other hand, he has an enormous axe that he's holding, and
Man, he's supposed to have a longsword.
he does not. Stop reading the module.
No, those Baylors do.
Well, this Balor has an axe,
Okay.
and it's a named axe. So he as he sort of peeks up, you see when he's looking over at the his those dragon riders taking off after Terendelev, and he looks at you and he's like, I knew you would return to the scene of your crimes. Now I will bring you to Deskari, for when I destroy you, your your souls will belong to me, just like that filthy silver dragons did for so long, and will again. Ha 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 ha.
Yell out, how'd that go for you?
Okay, for
I just,
here.
I just, I destroyed the shit out of my city in a peak of anger, but other than that, it was fine. So yeah, so at this point he's levitating and he just sort of like lands on the ground at the edge of the rift, and you see that whip of fire sort of begin to sort of swirl around him.
So before combat, haste starts this round.
All right, so you're going to do haste.
Ooh.
So like I
All
said,
right.
right before he sets down, haste gets cast. So everyone's got the 3 spells that I talked about.
How long do they last?
This combat.
Stone
Haste
skin,
will last
haste,
17
and
rounds.
protection from
The other
evil.
the other 2 will last through this whole combat.
Mike, did you see what I sent you for Storm? at your discretion.
Okay. Storm already has the magic frame greater. She's got that permanent, but the
Okay.
cat's grace would be welcome.
Then I'll cast that on her. No.
So are we all able to cast spells before we roll initiative, or do we
It
need
takes
to?
him it takes him a while because he's being dramatic. So yeah, if you've got a spell or two that you wanna dump, then yeah, you'll have the time. But we will be doing initiative almost immediately after that.
Okay, angelic aspect greater.
Okay.
Strong jaw, Mike?
What's that?
Instead of magic fang, strong jaw.
Yeah, you give me that before. That makes
Yeah,
her
that's the one I think I meant. Okay, I'm going to do that
okay.
again too.
And that kicks it up 2 categories, is that right?
Uh,
I can do keen edge, Jennifer. I can do that for your character.
oh,
Anybody
yeah,
else?
that was helpful.
Anybody want to
Yeah,
double their threat range?
two sizes, Mike, and I'll look up Keen Edge, Gordon. Thank you.
It just doubles your critical threat
Chance of
range.
critical,
Oh, that's
right?
right. I think the
Um,
last time you gave it to me, I was lamenting because I couldn't even roll anything over in a 6 or something. It was a crazy night.
for uh for combat, I'm gonna plead with Fletcher. Let Storm attack first because he's gonna murder the crap out of anyone that comes up against him, but he will murder the crap out of her slower than anyone else. So I don't want you to get taken out quickly. I want you to murder him while he's murdering Storm.
Okay.
This he wants basically he's saying, look, I want Storm to get all the credit for this kill.
That's
No, no,
exactly
no.
what
So I
Fletcher
want
just
you to
heard,
hang
but he's
back.
okay. He's okay.
I'll hang back.
God was like, hey, if you want me to hang back, I can
I'll take one
I,
for the team. I'll hang back.
I can hang back all the way back to Dresden if you want me to. I mean, as long as we're hanging back here.
Just saying, I've got her buffed quite a bit to get quite the AC, which I'm sure he's still going to power through, but I'm hoping at least like his second and third and fourth and fifth and sixth attacks might have a chance of missing her, which I'm pretty sure everyone else, every swing is going to hit everyone.
Corrado, did you say you're casting Strong Jaw on Storm?
Yeah,
Okay.
that and Cat's Grace,
On
Um,
Storm.
Oh, okay. Gotcha. Any other buff spells?
I'm gonna do shield on myself.
Okay.
Yeah, I put
Storm
Barks.
has mage armor from this morning and shield from when we got here as well.
I did
All
Bark
right.
Skin, Gravity Bow.
Okay. Did you say shield, Bardos?
Yep.
Okay. And did you say Barkskin and Gravity Bow, Ferrado?
Yep, yep, yep.
Okay. I just want to make sure I don't forget them.
Does that stack with what we have, the stone skin?
I think it
Barks
does.
Barkskin does not stack with Stone Skin.
Yeah, it does because Stone Skin is a DR, Bark
Hold
Yeah,
on.
is an
we've
AC.
established this, I
Spark
thought.
skin is a natural AC
Oh,
bonus.
It's
that's
an
right. That's right.
AC
That's right. You
bonus.
guys are right. Yeah, it
The
does
thing,
Stone
stack.
I've
Skin
been
is
doing
a
it for a
DR.
while. Okay.
Yep. Sorry. I forgot about that. We had talked about that. Okay, cool. Anybody else?
Um, I'm using stealth. Hey,
Okay.
he can see invisible. He has true seeing,
He has
but
true seeing.
stealth is still stealth. If I roll high enough to beat his perception, he does not see me.
All right, let's see your stealth roll. Come on, natural one. Natural one. Here we go.
Well, I want to do particulate form too on everybody, Les.
Okay.
I might need to increase this by 1 because I didn't update all my macros. So yeah,
36.
36.
Okay.
But yeah, I haven't upgraded any macro, so I'm gonna be saying plus ones or twos or threes to all these all night long.
Gotcha. Okay. All
I'll,
right.
I'll help Ned in a minute.
How many points is stone skin worth?
150, 150 points, and it's DR 10. So 10 comes off every swing until it's absorbed 150 points.
Right.
Particulate form is just for you, right, Bardos?
No, it's
No,
everybody.
Oh, sorry.
It gives you fast healing 4. You're immune to bleed damage, critical hits, sneak attacks, and you
You
can
get critical hits. That's huge.
yeah, and you can blow it in one round to get 5d6 hit points if you're running low.
It doesn't come up on the TOS, does it?
Yeah, it's on there. Oh no, it's not. It's not actually.
Oh, okay.
and how long does it last? How long does particulate form last?
It's a round per level,
Rounds.
so
Okay.
And
17.
you said it was +4 against what now?
Fast healing 4. So if you're damaged, you'll get 4 hit points every round.
Okay.
back.
Cool. All right. Let's roll for an ish.
No.
No, you should.
That should be 30 also.
So you claim.
Yeah, because we have haste now, right? So that affects our initiative.
Yeah, it's gonna up everyone's initiative by one.
Oh,
What was your dot? 18, Gato?
Yeah,
Is it 18?
it is 18.
Okay.
Paladins too. Saving the best for last.
Flash art, really?
Yeah.
he's busy making holy pee.
It's the it's the time change. I'm sluggish now.
You only have a bonus of 1 to your initiative?
I might have a bonus more than that now, but I'd have to fix the macro. I mean, when I say I'd have to fix macro, I'd have to consult Don, who would have to fix it for me.
All right. Okay. Oops.
Jennifer, what was that spell called that makes the bite bigger?
Strong jaw.
Or the
Strong jaw.
fang.
Okay.
Storm is going to be on Illindar, your thing for right now, or do you want to have
Yes.
Storm have their own
The same.
their
Why are
own
you not
their okay.
casting Strong Jaw on Fletcher? I mean, he could look like the Jaws from the James Bond movie. And his Glabrezu arm.
Okay.
Yeah.
So he did
And you heard we're all one higher than we rolled less, right?
That's on the 3.
all?
Take that.
Yeah,
On
because
haste.
Everybody who has haste on them.
which all of us, we're all together, so all of us have
I
haste.
think the TOS sheet does that for us that have the TOS, don't they?
Right, but your macro won't be updated unless you manually updated it.
Which I didn't do.
The new Pathfinder 2 character
In
for so much easier.
Pathfinder 1, haste,
Oh, you're right.
haste doesn't improve initiative.
Yeah,
So you guys should not have +1? Did I just change a bunch of people for no reason?
No, we all should.
Round me up to +5 less, just to make it fair.
Well, in reality, Karamzada's initiative is way higher than any of ours. So
Yeah,
we'd
it
all
doesn't
fall
matter.
in order. It doesn't matter.
Yeah. All right. Well, I'm already there. I've already committed.
Right,
All
it's
right.
already there. Yep.
Okay.
All right. Okay. Is everybody in?
I believe so.
Okay. And so hostilities commence. All right. First things first. Karamzada is a Stormlord. So he is as a swift action is going to enact a quicken storm of vengeance. That is going to materialize. Hold on. Over you.
He starts storms and whatnot. He like controls the
Mhm.
weather.
That's the one he threw at us before where it does a lot of damage.
Yeah.
Right, so here we go. That's really nice. Hold on a sec. All right, let's go that up here. So I don't know if that's hard to see on this thing. Can you guys see that? All right.
It's kind of clear, but I see it.
See it.
I'm gonna do a different one. Here we go.
It was a circle with raindrops. There you go. That works.
All right, there we go. So he's going to cast as a swift action. He is going to cast one of his favorite spells. Where did it go?
It's a 10-foot radius.
No. Everything. I must have deleted it. Hold on a second.
The yellow one is just to the left of us.
Yeah, I know. I just got to see how big it is. It's a 360-foot radius. So it basically is going to cover the entirety of this board, I think.
What kind of storm is he calling?
A storm of vengeance, just the same way that he likes from before. So all of those, so you guys are in it. And so on the first round, I need everybody to make a fortitude save.
That's how it's going to be, huh, Les?
Yep.
Remember, protection from evil gives you +2
On those saves.
on saves because
Oh,
he's evil. Unless he's not evil, maybe he's just misunderstood.
He's evil-ish. All right, Gatto, you made it.
yeah.
All right,
Plus
Farina made
two.
it.
You said fortitude?
Fortitude save.
That's my best one. Oh, wait, it's not actually.
Wait, it's not.
What kind of storm is that? I don't remember.
Well, it's called a Storm of Vengeance, and basically the first round. Ooh, Bardos, very good.
Mine's going to be a +6.
Mine's going to be a +4 from what these say.
So,
So Lothar, that's a 31 for you.
yeah.
Illinar rolls a
Actually, it's going to be
7,
6, so it's 23 for Ilindar and 30 for Storm.
Sorry,
30 or
roll
32.
something.
30.
All right, Illinar, you failed. Did everybody roll?
No, what was I supposed to roll? I'm sorry, I drifted off there.
Fortitude save.
Fortitude save.
Ah,
Where's
okay.
the-
Fletcher's is in. You made it. The DC on this is 29.
Okay.
Oh, wow.
Fortitude is one of a barbarian's favorite saves.
And Flash Art got hit. So in a strange coincidence, Illendar, who's been so instrumental in getting all this
Anyone
working.
within Flash Heart 10 feet of him would actually get another 2,
+2.
+4 total rather than +2 from
Right,
protection
right.
from evil.
Thanks, Don.
I
Oh,
don't know that that's gonna matter.
no, I
I'm
was
just
gonna roll.
okay.
Does it put you over 20? Does it put you at or over 29, Illendar? I don't think it does.
No, no, it doesn't.
All right.
Okay.
So you have been rendered deaf by the sound of the amazingly loud thunder that is happening as the thing materializes out of thin air, and you are deaf for 1d4 times 10 minutes. So 40 minutes you are deaf.
Okay.
All right. So we'll deal with
So,
that. So that was a
did we not
swift action.
mention our expertise in battle sign language that we've been working on for the last?
So that's just my physical ears can't hear, right?
Correct.
Okay.
All right. And then he's going to follow that.
Hmm.
So his caster level, hold on, is ooch. Um, okay. So then he is going to cast as a regular roll blasphemy. So hold on just a second. And so blasphemy is blue, and it is a 40-foot rad. So he's going to cast blasphemy right there on you guys. Can you guys see that?
Yep. Nope. I see it. It's kind of like greenish now
Yeah. It's just this
because
oops.
it's all piled up on stuff.
Hold on, let me move this to the back. There we go. All right. So yeah, it's this one right here. See it? All right. So his caster level. So what blasphemy does is basically any non-evil creature in the area of blasphemy spell suffers the following ill effects. You guys are between caster level 1 and up to caster level -5. So his caster level, he's a 20th level caster. So I need you guys to do a will save. And the DC on the will save, I'll tell you right now, is 27.
And we get a +2 on that too.
Right. So yeah. So in this case,
Um,
it's go ahead.
yeah. If we're within 10 feet of Flash Heart, it's +4.
Yeah, but the protection from evil that
They don't stack, and the 4 is higher than the 2. Protection from evil gives +2. Flash
okay.
Heart gives +4.
This is, you said it's 27 is what we needed, right?
A 27, DC 27. What'd you roll?
And it's a
We did
will
not roll a
save.
27. 18.
Ooh.
Okay. I'm gonna roll both of mine and then I'm gonna figure out
Ooh.
what pluses are in each one.
Both
I
are
got
got
some
it.
neat stuff. Hang on.
And that's +6 higher.
Illendar got it.
Hang
Storm
on.
did not.
Well, hang on. There's several pluses to this that
Oh, Fletcher.
I
Nice.
don't have in there.
Wah, wah, wah.
So okay. So Storm's a 6 higher right now.
Okay.
125.
That's not enough. 20 said DC 27. All right. Is that everybody? Did everybody roll? 5, 6. No, I'm missing Matt. Wait. Yeah, I'm missing Flashheart. I need a will save, buddy.
I'm on it. I'm sorry. Like, don't fall asleep. Don't fall asleep.
Oh, it's 10 more minutes. We got you. All right, 25.
Oh,
Well, now wait a second. You get additional bonuses to that?
yes. From anything that they just
But a bare minimum, get the 2 from protection from evil.
protection, yes.
So that's 27, and it's a DC 27. So you're okay.
Okay.
The power of Iomade surges within you to protect yourself against this unholy word that Karamzada has said. But the rest of you that missed it, a couple of things are going to happen. So the first thing that happens is at this caster level, you are weakened and dazed. So everybody who missed is dazed for 1 round. You can't take any actions for 1 round, although you can defend yourself normally. Second, anyone who missed their thing loses 2d6 of strength point, a temporary strength damage for 2d4 rounds. So I'm going to go ahead and roll that.
2d6.
2d. These are the strength points.
That's no joke.
No, blasphemy is no joke. So this many strength points. Ooh, geez, 11 strength points for the next 6 rounds. Look at that. You guys are rolling ones and I'm rolling maxes.
Wait, 11 strength points?
Mm-hmm.
So what if you don't
Okay.
have 11 strength points?
What if, what if that's all you had, or that you put you in the negatives?
Interesting.
What? Somebody's put it in the negatives by this?
No.
Does me, yeah. I only
Whoa.
have
You made
3.
your save though.
No, I didn't.
Oh, no, you didn't. All right. So when you lose, so ability score, I think you are sent unconscious.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's tragic. For how many rounds?
6 rounds.
Oh, I think we
And then
should
it comes
hold
back.
up and
So
wait
yeah,
for
so
tomorrow.
so Gato, you are rendered unconscious because you are at 0 strength, so you basically collapse. And
I'm not
that's
at
so he's done.
0. I'm at 1.
You can
So
see
and
me trapped
then
in my armor. If I hadn't made it, I'd just be trapped in my armor. Help me!
all right, and then he is going to. He's not going to do that because that doesn't make any sense. Um,
You said -6? 8. You said -8, right?
to me,
How many strength points?
11.
11.
11.
So is Bardos conscious with no strength and negative strength, or is
I
what's
think he would be unconscious. Let me check though.
well? Then I could put him in a hideaway right here in the ground and shelter.
6 rounds. Okay.
That might have just happened.
Okay. What happens if you're okay? A character with a strength score of 0 or below is too weak to move in any way and is unconscious.
Well, I asked the group if they agree with me putting him in the Sylvan hideaway till we figure it out.
And so this guy rises up off of the ground. And let me see if this works here. Come on, you nitwit. There we go. Yeah, there we go. All right, perfect. All right, so this indicator is to let you know that Karamzada is flying, and he is risen up about 50 feet. I'm going to put a little target here. So he is rising up in the air and laughing. All right, can you guys see that?
Yep.
All right, cool. So that's what he does, and he's floating. He floats up into the air, and he's not coming towards you yet. I think what you guys think he's doing is trying to let the storms do its business while he hits you with spells from below. So the blasphemy actually did quite a number on you guys.
Yeah.
All right. So that being the case, so days you let me refresh my memory here. Storm of Vengeance. So you are hold on. You are dazed, which means you are unable to act normally. You can take no actions but no penalty AC, so it can last for 1 round. So you're dazed for 1 round. So you really can't do anything right now at all. So who made their save?
Me.
Lothar did.
I made the save against the storm, but
And
that's not going to matter now.
this is the blasphemy.
I did not.
Okay, I'm gonna put a yellow tag on it. Did anybody else make it? Flashheart made it, right?
I did.
And Illendar made it.
Power of Iomedae and Holy.
All right. And Bardos falls unconscious. So I'm gonna just put him down there. Gato, are you unconscious?
I'm not unconscious. I have a strength of 1. I'm heavily encumbered. Um,
So you just fall to the ground, but you're not unconscious.
yeah.
Okay. All right, that's it for Karamzada. Gato, you did not make your blasphemy save, so you are dazed.
Yeah.
Barado did not make her blasphemy save, so she's dazed. Fletcher is dazed. Lothar is not.
Did Fletcher suffer the strength damage?
He did.
Yes, but you wouldn't probably notice too much.
It only happened on the middle arm.
All right, so the people who are turned sideways, they're the ones
Are
um,
who have been reduced to 0.
they're the ones that have strength issues.
Right.
Well, Fletcher and Storm both have strength issues, but they're so strong that they're still
Right.
Still walking around.
operate.
So I'm going to move to here. And I'm going to cast Restoration on Ferrado.
Okay.
Were you casting it on?
Ferrado. And Restoration takes away all temporary ability damage.
Okay.
I mean, I'm grateful, but should we worry about Bardos?
You think Bardos needs that more?
I
I
am able to operate
Yeah,
and
she's
move.
upright.
Yeah,
Oh.
it's Bardos who's down.
Oh, I'm sorry. I have to keep everything so small so I can see all of us in one thing, including
Yeah.
the bad guy. So yeah, I'll cast that on Bardos.
I mean, I lost my ability to shoot, as you know, my attacks are not as strong, but
Right. So I'll cast that on Bardos.
Also, to your second question, Dan, blasphemy does not break concentration.
Okay.
It's an instantaneous spell.
This is for Stormlord. Got
Yep.
it.
Hey, Les,
Uh,
the Storm of Vengeance does have to have concentration. Can you cast another spell while you're concentrating on another
That's what
spell?
I just asked, Gordon.
He
Yeah.
just asked me, and so certain spells you can maintain concentration. Like so for blasphemy, it is an instantaneous spell, and does not break concentration. You can do it at the same time. At the same token, one of Karamzada's qualities is he is a Storm Lord, which means he can conduct Storm of Vengeance without having to deal with concentration. So and Jennifer, it was the answer to that prayer.
it was.
Yep.
Huh.
It just Erastil moves in mysterious ways. All right. So Lothar, you're casting Restoration on Ferrado to
No,
remove her. Oh,
on
you're not.
Bardos. No, on
Well,
Bardos.
the Lord giveth and the Lord taketh away.
Yeah, no, I was not even asking for me. I was asking for Bardos.
Ah, gotcha. All right. So you're casting on Bardos. All right. So
Yes.
it works. And Bardos, your strength damage is, and this was, does this do what restoration? Was it the one that eliminates all strength damage?
Yeah,
Yes.
well, Restoration eliminates all temporary damage.
Okay. And this is a temporary damage, so that would work.
Yeah.
So Bardos, you are back on your. Well, you're still prone because you collapsed, but your strength is back.
Am I still dazed this round?
You're still dazed this round, yeah.
Okay.
Well, I don't know that rest. Well, hold on. Let me look. Does restoration
Makes sense that
handle
it would remove it. Yeah.
Oh, hang on.
restoration? Cures all temporary ability damage from single ability. It also eliminates fatigue or exhaustion, but not dazed as a condition. So you're
Yeah.
still dazed, but you're not unconscious. All right. Lothar, is it for you?
Yep.
Only dazed for one round too, right, Les?
Correct. One round in round two, you guys will be back. Ilindar, you are not dazed or
Yo,
weakened.
no, Ilandar's days.
You're
Storm's weakened.
no, you made the blasphemy, I thought.
No, that was a fortitude. That's my worst one.
Oh, okay. All right.
So,
Blasphemy was a wisdom save.
which is my best one, which is why Ilandar made that one, but he blew his fortitude because that's his worst one.
Okay.
The
So,
fortitude. Oh, the fortitude was for the deafness. You made the. Hold on. You made the blasphemy save, which means you are not dazed,
oh, the days was from blasphemy. It's not from the storm.
not from the
Yeah.
storm.
Oh, okay.
That's why you have a yellow dot.
Okay. Then I am not dazed.
You are not
So
dazed.
if that's the case, um, I am,
Storm's dazed. I
well,
don't think
I'm
Storm.
casting Restore Eidolon
Okay.
Storm. And so functions like restoration.
Okay. So it gets so Storm gets his strength back.
So yeah, Storm's back
All right.
to normal.
All right. Storm's back to normal, but Storm is still dazed, if I recall correctly, from the blasphemy.
Right.
Gotcha. But his strength is back. Okay, cool. You're gonna move it all? You're gonna, I don't know, charge
Oh no.
Karamzada?
I thought about it. I do have a cold iron dagger, like a non-magical cold iron dagger. So I'm pretty sure if I charge for like, I don't know, 6 rounds, I
Hmm.
think I can probably get over there.
Yeah,
Well,
no,
well,
it's
and then
worth a
I've got to call him
shot.
down, and then I got to call him down to the ground. But I'm pretty sure I've got a pretty good diplomacy, so I could probably
Oh,
convince him
not
to
a-
go around.
Oh yeah, I think you probably well intimidate him is what I'm thinking. All right. So that's it for you, Ilindar?
Yes.
Okay. Bardos, you are dazed. So you don't get to move at this point.
Okay.
Flashheart, are you dazed? No, you're not. So you are around.
Just thinking about Ioma Day,
Thinking about
I'll
Iomade. Well, you could do
yeah.
stuff. So this would be a great opportunity because both Gatto is completely debilitated. Here would be your chance to. I mean, he's helpless.
yeah.
You can get all the stuff back from him he stole.
Even if I was able to turn on them, then Lothar would haunt me forever as a
That's
as
true.
a as a ghost. So I'd never find peace. The so all I can do is protect my friends here, right, until they were able to recover. There's nothing immediately threatening us beyond what we're already in, correct?
Well, you're basically under a storm and it's beginning to rain. Everybody else, then you heard this blasphemy and everybody else was like discombobulated by it.
Is there
Um,
anybody I need to pick up and carry out to safety? I know Jennifer was putting up a Sylvan hideaway.
I don't know. It looks like Lothar has brought back Bardos, but Gatto is still pretty debilitated.
All right, I'll scoop up Gatto and go toss him in the hideaway.
All right. I don't know that Ferrado actually made a hideaway.
Did, Jennifer, weren't you making one?
I don't. She ended up not doing that. I don't
No.
think.
Oh, my bad.
Oh,
My
she
bad.
was dazed. That's
Hey,
why.
yeah.
All right.
Yep.
Well, then I will throw Gatto over my shoulder and carry
Throw
him
him
Okay,
at the bow.
to the valley.
like a cannonball. All right. So you're picking up Gatto. Are you taking him anywhere?
Um, well, I don't know. I mean, we have to
No,
get out of
he's using you as a human shield against the rain.
yeah,
Right.
exactly. Using it as an umbrella. I'm looking for cover. Like where do we see cover? Is there cover
Like
like immediately?
nowhere.
Yeah, it's just sort of a barren landscape
And the storm is like
directly
300,
over you guys.
360 degrees and a very far distance in every direction.
Yep.
Right. Well, I'm fully armored in magic armor, so I will throw my cloak over Gato or whatever and try to keep as much rain off him as possible and see how we're pretty far from the edge of the zone here, right? So we need,
Yeah, the Rift Cliff is behind Karamzada, is on the other side of Karamzada. He came up over it and landed, but now he's up in the air too.
so unless I
Hmm.
don't know what everybody else's plans is, but I'm gonna head to the edge of the bubble here. That's my plan. So
Well, it's far. You mean like to try and get out from under the storm?
yeah.
So it's 180 feet to the edge of it.
So if I do a double move, that's
But
60
you've
feet.
got haste right now,
Oh,
which adds 30 to your regular movement.
so I can be out in 2 moves, right?
Yeah. If you're running out, I'm assuming you're going due west, or are you moving
Yes.
away from Karamzada?
So when you say away, that'd be like up to the very tippy top of the map.
Well, due east, essentially. You would leave this map.
No, I don't want to do that.
All right.
So I'm going to start heading
Go
this
that
way.
way. All right.
It's
So this isn't to scale, but I'm going to put you about halfway there.
okay.
And so you'll be like about here.
Hang on, Gato. I'm watching all these baubles and trophies and weapons fall out of his pockets. Like, hey, I recognize
Oh,
that dagger.
these squares are 5 feet, right?
Yes, but the storm isn't big enough. So yeah, theoretically, I mean, the storm is 180 feet across or 360 feet across. Well, let me double check that. Hold
That's
on.
my
It
move.
is a
It's
360-foot radius storm.
I was
So
the last one.
basically, it's the entire thing. I
Exactly
just
right.
didn't want to put it all the thing. You're still in it.
So just go ahead and get rid of that thing. So it's one less thing, and then we just know what's everywhere on this map.
Yeah. All right, I'll do that.
Wait,
We
okay.
just
So
we know there's no getting out of it.
oh,
All
so
right.
is there pointless for me to try to run out of it then?
It'll be several rounds, and you would have to go to the east because to the west is the rift.
So
So
what
I'm
do you
gonna
want to
I'm
do,
gonna put
guys?
you back where you were.
Okay. Let me just make a decision that I'm going to bed.
If you want to take him to Lothar, that's the only person that can fix him.
Okay. I'll do that.
All right. So you're just gonna take him over right next to Lothar, sort of cluster in an
Yeah.
area here.
To the mashed tent over
Okay.
there. Fix him.
All right. All right. That is the end of round one. It is well after
We need
11,
our
and I
super
know
luck pick.
that Matt is fading fast. So we will the next time we
It's well
play, we
after
will
1 a.m. if it wasn't daylight savings time.
that's true.
Oh, I forgot about that.
Yep, daylight savings. So
That's why you're all extra tired, and it'll be even worse tomorrow morning.
so one of the things before you guys go, and Matt, if you have to go bail, I understand. But for the rest of you, before you guys head out, one of the things that Mike and I talked about is the Traveler campaign, which is on the third Sunday of each month, is going to be ending by the end of the year. And so my thought is, so that we can keep this one going, moving along, that a team will go on first Sunday like we do right now, and then also when Traveler's out after the turn of the year, it will go on third Sunday as well. Is everybody cool with that?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yep.
All right.
Sounds
All right.
good.
That'll get us
Sounds
done.
good. Cool.
I'll
Okay.
be dead by then.
That's all I got.
Thanks,
All
Lasso. It
right,
was
thanks,
fun.
guys.
All right,
All right.
guys.
Thanks, you guys.
Good
Bye.
night, everybody.
See ya.
Good night. Les, thanks, and Mike, thanks for the story. That was a cool way to start tonight.
Yeah.
Wasn't that
Unexpected
cool?
fun. Yeah, it was. It was. You guys have a great week.
All right, you
All
too.
right. You too.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.
See ya.